So, did you make contact with aliens? Were you taken to another planet, to a mothership? How did they communicate with... Can you tell me what they look like? Can you tell me how many of them there were? Were you given food?
But the teachers are alive. They're not books. They are the very living essences of nature itself.
What a strange person.
Unbelievably powerful supercomputer that's running our reality, and we don't have a clue as to how to operate it.
So when maybe you or somebody else creates an AGI system and you get to ask her one question, what would that question be? What's outside the simulation?
Say in your mind, say to yourself, I am more than my physical body, because I am more than physical matter. I can perceive that which is greater than the physical world.
Welcome to Lighting the Light.
Broadcasting from a shack on a hill in the Mossy Creek bottoms of Cane Creek, Arkansas. This is Lighting the Void, and I'm your host, Joe Roop. Thank you for joining us tonight live on the Fringe FM. It's April the 22nd on into the 23rd, and it's that time again. The New Moon Show, Cosmic Conditions with Mary Dusina. The call-in number for tonight is 1-800-588-0335. That's the number to call. We have 4 lines, so if you get through and for some reason you don't get through, just keep trying. That's all I can tell you, because it gets super busy. It gets really busy, and usually we break the phones. Now, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't tell you every night. I don't know what's going to happen, but I do know this. It's probably the funnest night of the month and the most informative night of the month here. But before that, we do have to thank the network sponsors, AncientLifeOil.com, GetTheTea.com, and Metaphorical Archaeology, 214-995-3754. That's the number to call if you've had a paranormal experience that's caused you trauma or post-traumatic stress, and you don't want to go explain yourself to a doctor because, you know, they might actually tell you that you need to be hospitalized or call you crazy. Well, we don't do that. Metaphorical Archaeology don't do that. And Barbara's doing good things with her tapping techniques. I know this because she's helping me and helping others. So give her a call, 214-995-3754. Also, to keep up with ufology, UFOs, all that stuff, yeah, ufoseekers.com. That's really all I should have to say. At UFO Seekers, youtube.com/UFO Seekers. Go check them out. Go give them a follow. Trust them. We do. And here's the thing. The storms just, like right when the show started, you know how it is at the shack, right? Whammo. The storms are hitting, rains of, like nailing the side of the shack, and we're standing strong here. So if for any reason this encoder goes down, I will be frantically pushing buttons trying to get it back on, I promise you. But I don't think it will. I think we've had enough power outages to last a lifetime out here. And I got to tell you a story real quick. the power went out the other day before the Keats Ross show. There was no storms here. And I just lost it, man. Haven't you ever done that? Like, haven't you ever just reached your limit? No matter how nice you are, everybody's got a limit. And I reached my limit with this stuff. And I just flipped out. I got in the truck and I drove down there and I saw all their power, you know, like their trucks and stuff. And I had a stupid childish moment and I regret it, but it made me feel good to get it out, you know? So I just laid on the horn and then just rolled in there and was like, hey, you know, you guys think you could keep the power on at some point in time? And this century would be great. You know, if somebody coughs out here, the power goes down. You think you could fix that too? And everybody like knows everybody out here. So before I got back to the house, before I could sit down in front of my computer to work, my father calls me and tells me people are already complaining about from Entergy. God love them. I love you guys out there anyways, but that I was out there yelling at them. Joe Roop's out there yelling, trying to scare folks. That's not what happened. I just want my power to work. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. Anyways, I'm just blabbing here. Mary's with us tonight. Tomorrow night, Mark Devlin's coming on the broadcast. Been looking forward to that one too. So that's going to be a really interesting show. I might try to get Ryan on here as well, just for a little bit with Mark. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that one too. I want to thank my producer Pacho. So Mary Dusina did one of the first psychic call-in shows, the first psychic call-in show back in Tampa area in the 80s. I mean, you think about a lot of psychics, right? Like all these psychics come to mind and all these call-in numbers that we all grew up with, and you're like, oh, I don't know if that's real, if that's fake, blip, blip. No, like this is the real deal. And Mary is like a mother to the show and a mother to all our listeners and has helped so many people. We have so much proof. It's crazy now. And for all the skeptics out there, I guess you're just going to have to, I don't know, drop back and punt, because what she's doing is wonderful things for everybody. MaryDusina.com, MaryDusina. My favorite witchy woman. Thank you for coming back on the show.
Oh, thank you. It's Cosmic Conditions Night, Void Walkers.
Yeah, it is.
And it's so funny you were talking about the storms, and here in the Smoky Mountains, it's supposed to hit here on my time zone at 2 o'clock in the morning. So when you started talking about that, I'm literally, and I can prove it, I'll send it to you, a picture. One of my post-it notes says Uranus, Aquarius energy, electrical energy, Mars and Saturn in Aquarius, high intensity charged air. Mm-hmm. And I knew we were going to get storms around 2 in the morning. And then you tell me that you're having them where you're at in your vortex too. That's really interesting, because that energy actually started for all of us. Welcome, audience. Love to you, light to you. Monday night, we had the beginnings, because, you know, the first hour we have to do the cosmic conditions before we go into all the psychic kumbaya. The Sun and Saturn squared off. Now, each month I try to teach you a little bit, not only live but in the archive. When the planets square off, there's oppositions and squares, which are like the main tension in the room type of relationships. We call them aspects in astrology. When the Sun and Saturn square, Saturn's like, pump your brakes, back your truck up, slow it down. And the Sun is me, myself, and I, and how we want to radiate the great star of the Milky Way that we are, and our Earth birth determines our starshine, our big starshine, our solar starshine. So Monday afternoon, Monday night, the Sun and Saturn coming into Tuesday on most time zones gave us a knot that needed to be untied. Now, squares in astrology, different than oppositions, usually end up presenting us with the type of personal or psychological challenge that has to do with where are we knotted up inside ourselves. So we have to look within our own selves to see what's causing us the angst. The opposition is usually coming from an external person, external source. But a square is like you, me, need to be looking at this from yourself. So that started like for some of you, because you've already been calling me. Sunday was like I'm just all knotted up, and then Monday it was like we were going off on all kinds of different assumptive possibilities. And so today, when we actually came from the balsamic moon into the dark of the moon, we started to get some insight. So there was a knot. It might have been a knotted up situation emotionally with our feelings, or we didn't get our way, or somebody was pushing back too hard on us, or worse, we felt like we were getting ignored or kicked to the curb or ghosted. So that was an energy. So I want to just say to the audience, it wasn't that there was something wrong with you, but we could have gone to a little bit of a dark moon, new moon, dark place of fear or anxiety within ourselves, given our quarantino phase, especially from Sunday and Monday. So I like to start out with something.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's like, when we get to our wit's end, everything's been kind of compounded since our last month when we were doing the Aries vibrations, and we're doing Taurus tonight. It's the Taurus new moon. And so with this, whatever it is, I don't know, 37th day of quarantine, it's interesting because the word quarantine was formed a long time ago with Italian ships because it means 40 days. So so it's like, will it be 40 days that we really starts to lift? The 37th day was today, so like 3 more days, is it going to start to lift? So we started right before this new moon, the balsamic moon, that 2 to 3 days before the actual new moon. In my world, in the holistic mystic world, we know it as the wishing moon. So it's a time for you to write down the minuses and write down the pluses. This is what I want to let go of. These are the knots that I will have untied, that I will cut these psychic cords and these emotional knots as I come to this new moon of April the 22nd of 2020. And then we go to the numerology of this. This is a trifecta of the numerological vibration of the 4, because it's April, that's the 4th month. It's the 22nd, so it's the master vibration of the single digit of 4. 22 is known in numerology as the master builder, and we'll tie that into Taurus in a minute. And then our year that we're working with this year is 2020. Well, in numerology, you add them kind of horizontally instead of the way we're taught to do math vertically. So 2020 of the 2020 ends up being 2 plus 2. So we have the 4 of April, the 22nd day, which if you add those 2s together, that would be 4, so it's 444. So 4 is important to me because I follow the sacred medicine wheel. So the 4 main directions on the medicine wheel, and right now with spring, we're in the east. So it's the new dawnings, it's the new beginnings, and until we come to summer solstice, we're on the eastern teachings of the sacred medicine wheel. In the astrological chart, the dawning, which happens with Aries, the first sign, sets up the springtime and the true mystics' new year on spring equinox every year. Spring and equinox. Equinox means equal day night.
Oh no, did we lose Mary? Tell me, say it ain't so.
To be
there you are.
The ascendant or the new dawning of the mystic's year. So you see how the medicine wheel and the astrological celestial wheel are turning together. And Aries is the first sign. And the east represents the eagle as one of the totems when we get to Aries. Why it's the highest. And then we have a lot of the fiery, the phoenix and the fiery birds that go with Mars. So now we come to Taurus. We've been in quarantine. We've had this impact of the powers that be with that stellium that happened starting with the solar eclipse of December 26th last year in 2019, and then the big impacts around the 7th to the 12th of January of like 6, 7 celestial vibrations all loading up. That's called a stellium when they're in the same sign in Capricorn. Capricorn is an energy that gives power to the top, where Aquarius is we the people. So Saturn slipped briefly on March 21st, right there at that spring equinox, into the sign of Aquarius, which is we the people. So Saturn shifted from its, you're going to do what I say and you're going to do it when I say, and I told you to go to your room and I told you to stay home, and you're not going to get your hair cut and you don't get to go dine in the restaurant, and you need to be shamed and blamed if you go out without a mask. How about that? So when it shifted on March 21st into Aquarius, there was a whole bunch of people going, you know what? I do care about my fellow man. We're all Earth citizens. I'll do this quarantine thing because I love my planet and I do care other than just myself. So I'm going to, not because the powers that be told me to, powers that be could also be the doctors and the virologists and what we were feeling in meditation, and the part of us that are, healers and teachers and light workers. We care about doing the right thing. But then they drug it on a little too far, saying, oh, by the way, you might get chipped and you might have a mandatory, can I see the papers? And you might have to get a vaccination and blah, 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 blah. And most people have forgotten that there's a thing called the real ID or the national ID that they started pushing last year for people when they go to get their driver's license renewed, whether it's your year to get that whole thing done or not, that they kept announcing it, that you had until October of this year to get the national ID, and your driver's license was a part of that. And if you didn't do that, which means you have to bring, here we go again with the Gestapo sounding, you need to bring the papers, like you have to bring the actual Social Security card and blah, 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 and your birth certificate. So the way that went last year is if you don't have that in place, talk about the powers that be, if you don't have that in place by October of this year, and they wanted to give you a year's warning, then you will not be able to fly. I think you can have a passport, and it may help you do that, but the passport requires this too. And you no longer can go into any kind of federal building if you don't have that national ID. And I know someone like Reverend Dan and Ryan can take the ball and run with this one. So then this year they're trying to kind of squeeze that vice grip a little tighter, saying that, well, maybe we'll get a tattoo ID. And you're all used to doing the microchip on your dogs or your cats that you love anyway, so maybe that would be a good idea. You know, you don't want to lose your children and all this stuff. So here's what the energy of Uranus, which rules the sign Aquarius, is currently in the very predictable sign of Taurus. And then we've got Saturn and Mars right now in the, oh, no, you didn't, sign of Aquarius. So where Taurus says, I don't really like change. I want it predictable. I like it steady. Can I cook for you? Let's have a good meal. I want to just shut off the stress of the world today. Ooh, that smells good. Let's eat.
Right on.
And Aquarius is like, don't push me too far, powers that be, because you're not going to like it. You know, you don't want to come down this road because I got a backhoe and some guns. So, and I'm not, so don't misquote me because it's not good to do that. I'm not saying pro this or pro that as far as how one would defend their Bill of Rights, constitutional rights. Okay, I'm just saying there's a point that everybody has. Like you talked about just needing to let off steam and going and yelling at, what was it? See, it was the electrical company and the power crew, and that's all Aquarius. So Joe the Aries got in a vehicle, got in his truck, that's his Taurus vehicle, this truck's going to take my body, or his car's going to take my body, and you went down there to him, really, if I sneeze, can you just keep the power on? And as you said, it felt good just to let that out. We've been caged for 30-plus days. We've been caged, and so we've been doing the right thing, and we felt the resistance to it and the pushback to it. But most of the people I know, because we've not lived through anything like this before, wanted to adhere to blessing everybody else and kind of doing the right thing within limits. When they start trying to squeeze us harder, when they start trying to say, okay, now snitch on everybody, and here's a tip line, and you can call in and tell on them, and if your neighbor's not 6 foot apart or you're not wearing a mask or something, then they look at you with the disdain. It's just like, oh, you don't want to mess with this. You really don't. Just walk on. I'm happy for you to have 13 feet distance from me. Trust me. So that's what's going on right now, the rule of law versus what's really right for Earth citizens and humanity, because this is not just a United States thing. This thing has like all kind of sucker punched us globally. And so we, the people all over the planet, is what I'm talking about. So we've all got a taste of when Mother Earth, and Taurus is absolutely Mother Nature and Mother Earth. It is the first fixed Earth sign of our 12-sign Western zodiac. It's yin energy. It's Mama Earth, Father Sky, Grandmother Moon. So what's happening is the feminine now is saying, I can nurture, but I'm also a warrior. I can nurture, I can take care of my warrior partner, and I can be a warrioress. So I know all about that. So this setup coming into this new moon, 4 is about our foundation. Taurus is about the strength of our physical body, the strength of our convictions, what we determine. It's our determination and our dedication. Taurus fixates on something and says, I'm going to work with this. I'm going to make it work. So the positive side of this before I get into signs and dates, the positive side of this very powerful ending of April and going into May of 2020 is this shutdown and this lock-in and caging us has given us a real forced feeding of what we really think about our home, how we're really getting along with our kids and our partners. It's force-fed us to look at what our quirks are, what our idiosyncrasies are when we don't get to get our way, our temper tantrums. We can't just pick up the phone, meet a friend, go to the bar, get a drink, go have lunch, go get your hair cut. All that kind of stuff. It's been like, wow, sure didn't see this one coming. And any astrologer that I know or that I have known knew that something big, something iconic and historic was going to happen with this Capricorn stellium lineup, and everybody was kind of like, oh, God, what are the rulers and the governments of the world going to do now? And so I do believe the worst of it has happened. I also believe that we're still going to be learning about ourselves since it all came up in the Pisces, Neptune, Pisces time frame when this whole thing roared up on us. And Pisces and Neptune have a lot to do with mysterious, can't see it, but they say it's out there. Is it real or is it not real? That's the Pisces energy. So whether you're on the side of this was deliberately leaked from a bio P4 lab or this was deliberately an attack from a communist agenda onto the free world, or this virus is very real, whether they leaked it or not, and we've got to be proactive, you've got to up-level and you've got to upgrade your approach to the whole thing without, like one of your sponsors says, Get the Tea and the Life Shield, you can't let the fear overtake you. Stress will kill you. So we've got to disengage from the stress, and the Taurus new moon and this Uranus in Taurus is teaching us how to deal with the electrical aspects of our body. That's why they're called electrolytes. So we want to be very mindful. Here comes the holistic piece of this new moon. We want to be very mindful of restoring our immunity and balancing, making sure that our electrolytes are balanced. So you want to hydrate yourself, and all these different drugs, hydrochloroquine with zinc and all that they're talking about. When I did my deep down the rabbit hole research on that, one of the natural herbal elements of that is quinine. And it's been known for a long time that tonic with quinine in it, which is a native First Nations people cure too, will help restless legs like magnesium will. So for the sign of Taurus, until we get to the next new moon over May 22nd, anything that's got to do with rose hips, like applying rose oil onto your body, I'm not talking about fake stuff now, or having like those rose pastel mints, working with roses, because it was Earth Day and the new moon, I went out today because I knew the rains weren't coming tonight, and I transplanted all kinds of and got new heirloom roses, which means they're not hybrids, which means they still smell good, and the petals, that when you have a real rose bush, it has rose hips that grow in October, November. So when they burst out and bloom in late April and May, you want to gather up those petals, and I've got 3 mason jars full of those rose petals already in the freezer that I'll work with. I can float them on tea, they're edible in a salad, but that's the real antique roses, if you will, that any herbalist knows cost thousands of dollars to take all those petals and make pure damask rose oil out of it. Go price it on the internet. It's huge. So that's why I started growing them 4 years ago. So I have my own rose hedges that are actually like the ones from Sleeping Beauty and all the Enchanted Tales. So I searched and searched for that heirloom rose, and that's what you want to look for, an heirloom rose. So anything to do with rose essential oil, rose skin oil, working with roses, an herbal tea of chamomile or passion flower, these are very good during the Taurus time to help calm us. There's also an elixir called kava kava that you can get with phytocapsules with liquid formulation. You can get it in droppers and put it under your tongue sublingual. Kava will calm you down as well. These are all natural herbs now. These aren't prescription things. And then the quinine tonic. There's a really good brand that you can search on the search engines like Amazon or whatever called Top Hat, and it's got the actual hops in it. That's what relaxes people when they drink beer. It's the hops that relaxes people and stops. A lot of times if you get spinning, if you get vertigo, you can go get homeopathy with hops, and it'll stop that spinning sensation. So rose is the essential oil, chamomile, passion flower tea will be calming for you. They even now have coffees with passion flower and chamomile mixed into the actual coffee grounds that you can brew for yourself. And then the quinine tonics. Now, if you go to the store and you go in the soda aisles, you'll see tonic waters where they sell liqueurs and things, even in liquor stores. And if you find the real quinine, that could work too. But I found one called Top Hat. It's a big bottle. It's under $20, and it's got a bunch of herbs with it.
Oh,
so
Mary, we got to take a break. We'll leave off with that tonic there, and then we'll come right back to finish the cosmic conditions, hopefully, right? That's what we're going to do?
Yep.
We'll be right back with Mary Dusina. The lines are open if you want to get a jump start. We got a few lines open, 1-800-588-0335. We'll be right back.
All right, man, this is Crow 777, and you are listening to The Fringe FM.
Please listen. Now is not the time to fear. When your immune system is strong, shields up. You have very little worries. If your immune system is compromised, you're susceptible to all viruses. I say shields up and no fear. Try Heart Love from GetTheTea.com. Heart Love has a special ingredient called allicin. It comes from the healing part of the garlic plant. No garlic breath. No garlic leaking out your pores, just pure immune-building ingredients that gets your shields up. Heart Love is a unique blend of herbs that loves to build you up. Google garlic and know the benefits. One Heart Love pill is equal to 20 cloves of garlic. 20 cloves. Shields up. You've heard of our Life Change Cleansing Tea at GetTheTea.com. Now try Heart Love. And by the way, take your blood pressure and watch weekly what happens. So here's how to purchase. Log on to GetTheTea.com. That's GetTheTea.com and build your shields. That's GetTheTea.com. Mention Ray in the coupon code and hit apply and receive free shipping.
This is Barbara Charlton from Metaphorical Archaeology. If you've ever had a traumatic paranormal experience, the effects of it may stay with you for years. Who do you talk to? You can't go to conventional help. What we do is we use emotional freedom techniques or tapping to actually neutralize the effects of that event. Maybe when you tell the story now, your heart races and your palms get sweaty. You don't even want to think about it because you don't know how to neutralize that. That's what EFT tapping does. It neutralizes those emotions. The circuit that was recorded on is gone. The energy flows freely and you're free of it. And that's what emotional freedom is all about. We offer this as a pro bono service, but this is something that I offer because no one, it seems, is helping people with these experiences. If you'd like to reach me, it's really easy. My cell phone is 214-995-3754. Please leave a message. I will get back to you as quickly as possible. Or you can email me, barb.eft@gmail.com. And EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. Reach out to me. It's confidential. This works. You won't believe the results.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Automobile Seat Sheepskin Covers. Yes, now you can cover your sheep with a genuine vinyl or leather seat cover recycled from a genuine automobile. And this week only, you pay only 50% of the retail price plus tags, tax, license, and your old sheep.
Right, me old Chiners. I know it's an ad break, but before you lot shoot off and make yourself a cup of Rosie Lee or whatever else it is you're going to sling down your Gregory Peck, you need to listen to me babble. If, like me, you found your way to lighting the void via a downloadable podcast, you might want to take a butcher's at the Fringe FM Wind and Kite. You won't Adam and Eve how many other shows there are or what they rabbit on about. Ancient history, conspiracy, the consciousness, the esoteric, the occult, metaphysics, parapolitical, ufology, technology and spirituality, to name but a few. They got featured hosts like Ryan Gable, Jeremy Scott, Alex Exum, Tim Doyle, Cortana and Gigi, Susanna Ross, the Reverend John Polk, Michael Deacon and J.D. Lewis. You might find yourself listening to the thoughts and theories of the author of The Fish you just finished reading. Or you could pick up the dog and bone, call in and tell everyone your own beliefs or experiences. So do me a favour, before you put on the Ansel or crack open a bottle of vino or roll a joint, go to the Fringe FM and see what you're missing.
Hey, I'm J.M. DeBoard, and when I want to talk about dreams, I look up my man Joe Root and his show, Lighting the Void.
This
This portion of the show is being brought to you by new lemon-flavored Acid Rain, the deadly pollutant with that fresh lemony smell. So the next time someone tells you to name your poison, you have a choice, lemon-flavored or regular unscented.
You're listening to Lighting the Void. The call-in number is 1-800-588-0335. If you would like to text, you can text in at 501-777-5631.
Now is the time to call in if you want to get on a line for Mary. 1-800-588-0335. We're going to continue Mary's forecast for this new moon. We do this every new moon. When the moon rolls new and dark, Mary comes on, gives us the forecast, and then we take callers, and you get a free reading from Mary. And Mary, this is how Mary makes her living, by helping people. And my God, do you help people, really. Like, if we go back and we count all the confirmations, all of the people that have called in and confirmed with us after the readings, the numbers are staggering. They're staggering.
Well, and you and I always encourage that. We encourage that. So when we have new listeners or skeptics, which is fine. I don't mind open-minded skeptics. I'm one when something new is presented to me. I have to test it to see if it's a workable alternative to me. And that's why we encourage callers to call back and see how the intuitive insights bloomed for them. How did it help them find a safe harbor in a life storm that they might have been going through? That's what we want to do. That's what I think your whole network is about, Joe, to get with all the people that you have on. How can we light the void? How can we give you that lighthouse in any kind of dark place that you're going through? And when I listen to your shows, I kind of see that theme going with most of the people that you have on there, that they really, besides just, yes, we all have to make a living, and yes, thank you for those of you that give a damn enough to actually get a consult with me. It's huge. It's just huge. And so, but the people that you have on, that if that becomes our heart chakra intention, no matter what our tool or topic is that we're working with, then we're upgrading each other. And that's important. And that's the tangible part of the Taurus new moon. We're going to be coming out of the main lockdown, and I have to talk about some of these time frames that are going on, so those that don't get to call in tonight get to know this. So the fear-mongering and the tying of the knot that was over Sunday night, Monday, Tuesday, coming into this new moon of April 22nd, yes, it brought delays. We've all been in a delay. We've all been in a lockdown. Yes, there's been tests. Yes, there's been challenges. And yes, it did throw a wrench into our plans, and it made us almost not believe in anything when the trips got canceled. But every new moon, each month, the new moon, when the sun and moon marry in the same sign, still has all the right stuff for making any type of new beginning. Now, Taurus is one of the quieter new moons, and so it's going to help us develop new tools and methods to untie any of the knots that have hit us over the last 30 to 37 days. So the Taurus new moon is the darkest and the calmest point in all of April's lunar cycle. So there's going to be, now there's a big thing coming up this Saturday on April the 25th, and it doesn't just end there. What's going to happen is Pluto, which has a lot to do with those things in our life that we need to stop avoiding, that we just need to get disengaged from. When it's done, it's done. When it's over, it's over. And we all know that we've been at that point where we really don't want to tell that boss, or we really don't want to cut the ties of that partnership, and we really know we're never going back into it the way we were, so to speak, as the song goes. So Pluto is going to be turning retrograde, and then we're also going to have an impact point with the sun conjuncting Uranus and Taurus. So what was, Taurus has to do with what was the past, who we were involved with, what we were involved with. It's going to create that dynamic. Uranus is about, okay, it was, and it doesn't work anymore the way it once did. As a matter of fact, you saw through it. So it's that push, move ahead, move into the next phase, move into the upgrade. Stop doubting your future. Make the immediate future your present intention. That's what's going on. But Pluto's going to give us a 5-month retrograde. And so when a planet goes retrograde, a lot of people are familiar with the messenger Mercury going retrograde. So it's a time to review. whatever that planet represents. So don't let the seemingly small size of Pluto fool you, because Pluto has to do with the ruler of Scorpio, and its effects are life-changing. So it's going to give us a downtime, in a sense, a 5-month breathing space. I'm going to go back to that word real quick before I do the forecast. Breathing, your life breath, the ability to breathe. It's going to give us the space to review and go deeper with all the changes that we know we needed to make since the autumn of 2019. So go back. We're coming up to Beltane. So go back to Samhain. Go back to the last week of October, coming into Halloween of 2019. So whatever tendencies we had to bury things that we knew were true that we had to face since last October, we're going to be dealing with as the nodes change into Gemini and Sagittarius.
What do you mean
in the first
dealing
week
with?
of May. Meaning that we finally guillotined what needed to move into the past. And a lot of people out there have lost their job, for example, since October of last year, or gotten out of destructive relationships. They've set boundaries. A lot of clients have told me they finally stood up to the family member, and actually the relationship's much better because they're not taking their crap anymore. So we're not just allowing someone.
Homie, don't.
That's right.
It's called Homie, don't play that.
Homie, don't play that.
That's what
I'm ready
time
for
it is.
some
Get your
glory. I'm not
sock
ready
out.
for some.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I don't want the grief. I'll take the glory. So what's happening is, where it was subtle, and we were kind of like still the dog gnawing on the same bone, even all the marrow, good stuff had come out of it, and we had to go through some kind of control things. Is this controlling me? Am I able to control my fears and my angers and my resentments? And am I able to actually trust my desires? Pluto rules Scorpio, our desires. And can I come back to a healthy sensuality, healthy desires, and healthy things that I want to weave into my web of manifest? So Taurus is a sign that has to do with worth. So here's what we do in our head.
Is it money or worth?
What's worth paying for? And now when you're paying for it, there's different kinds of currencies. You might be paying for it with money. You might invest your time. You might be investing your feelings or your heart. So Taurus is all about our lesson, our theme, regardless of your sign. The Taurus zone of your Earth birth map right now is asking you, especially with the sun joining up with the planet Uranus over this coming weekend after the new moon, what's your top 10 list? What's really worth it to you? Is it worth it to you to stop engaging in a mind plummeting behavior or an addictive behavior? Why don't you up level? Why don't you, upcycle? Why don't you finally try a new tool or a new method, whomever or whatever that is, so that the time you've been putting into being a procrastinator or just letting time flip by, Taurus is about, hey, now let's pay attention. So COVID-19 has brought an emphasis to what? We've heard about ventilators. We've heard about they can't breathe. It's a dry cough, and then the virus gets in there and goes deep into the villi of the lungs and all that. So it's brought emphasis to our breath. The most essential thing is the steady power and the gift of our breath. When you go into most spiritual cultures, Joe, it talks about, and the breath and the supernatural breathes life into the dust and the clay of man. So it's got to do with the divine breath. And there's been movies named Waiting to Exhale. It's got to do with when we're tense, we breathe very shallow, and when we get scared, we go, ah! Like when we see the snake or whatever, and we suck in. It's just like we almost go into a freeze frame. So Taurus is saying, hey, it's time to exhale. It's time to exhale. So the nodes shift over May 4th and 5th. They're going to shift from 18 months, and the nodes affect our eclipse signs, of being in Cancer, Capricorn. So that's that mother, father, child, parent crap that we've all had to deal with and recalibrate. It's going to move into the air sign of Gemini, will be the dragon's head of the North Node. South Node, which is the work for us to do and not take the easy way out, will be in Sagittarius. Last time they were there was 2002, 2003. Time frame, go back in time. So also Gemini, Venus in Gemini, where that node is going, from May 13th to June 25th, Venus is going to retrograde. So the Gemini part of our chart is going to be coming into an emphasis point, and that's, do you just talk your talk or do you walk your talk? So that's your immediate future forecast. And the 4 signs that are most affected by this new moon, I'm going to quickly give you the birth dates. because this new moon is between the 3rd and the 4th degree of Taurus, right where Uranus is. So if you're an Aquarius and your birthday happens to be the 23rd, 24th of January, if you're a Leo and your birthday is July 25th, 26th, if you're a Taurus with the birthday of today through the 24th, and Scorpios born October 25th, 26th, this new moon will impact your lives. Out of all 12 of those star signs, you guys are put in the spotlight right now. The fixed signs are put into the spotlight. And where you're going to get the results is my favorite full moon of the whole year. It's known as the Vesak or the Wesak full moon, the Buddha moon. Because when you get into the study of that, Siddhartha Buddha, which was a prince in India, left the castle, and when he saw death and suffering and hunger, he wanted to leave the riches and the confines of the castle and go seek what was the real meaning of life. So the full moon, which is known as the Buddha moon, the Easter Passover moon is known as the beautiful Christ consciousness moon. So east meets west when we have the Buddha moon, which this year will be over May 7th and 8th. And it's Scorpio, it's a fixed water sign. It's the opposite polarity sign to our Taurus. And so if you can meditate, you face northeast, and you can go on YouTube, you can go on the internet and look up the Ascended Masters, V as in Valentine, E, S as in Spirit, A-K, some of them spell it with a W, W-E-S-A-K, Wesak or Vesak, and it's a very high time of celebration for enlightenment to the people that are of the Buddhist faith. And what you do is you face northeast, and you can either smudge or sage and hold a goblet of either wine or water, and you meditate for 8 minutes facing northeast. And you don't have to believe in Buddha to do this, but what the meditation healing ceremony is that you ask to be cleansed, cleared, and released of any destructive or compulsive attachments. So when you're too attached to an outcome and you're too controlling and you'll only be happy if this happens and you'll only be happy when that happens, that's a material world attachment, which is what the precepts of Buddhism teach us, even if you're a Christian, even if you're into being Hindi or Zoroastrianism or whatever, or even in earth magic. It's got to do with, is it controlling you? Has it got control over you? So the Buddha moon, the Scorpio full moon every year, and this year it's coming in over May 7th, 8th, is a perfect time to be with yourself or someone that you care about even and let go of all the past angst, frustrations where you shame or blame yourself. That's an attachment too. If you're attached to shaming yourself, it's become a habit, and that adds to your stress. So that's what you want to do to let go of that. So
put down the baggage. Put it down.
It's like let it fly free. Just let it fly, and work with your breath. The COVID-19, the corona, has had to do with our breath being interfered with, the ability to breathe. We've been locked down, so that's caused us to be like the bird in the cage or the animal in the animal shelter, and it's like we wish we could run free. So there's been a limitation on our ability to have breathing room or space. Give me space to breathe. What happens when people try to crowd around an accident? The first responders will say, back up. Give them room to breathe. They've got to be able to breathe. So we've all had to look at what's giving our breath stimulus. You know, they even call these money checks that they send out stimulus. And so what's happening is we come to this May full moon, which is always the buildup after the new moon plants the seeds. So the Scorpio full moon is going to say to us, how well did you do to realize what it is that you want to now breathe life into it and give it new life? So that's my take on that.
Does it help? Like, I found something that helps me with that is like, just say it. Like, say what you want out loud. I mean, doesn't that help? Like, what's deep down inside? I'm talking about deep, not something that's get deep down in there. I mean, that's the Scorpio energy, right? So, like, get as deep as you can and, like, face it.
Yes. Well, and Taurus is a rule. The sign of Taurus and the sign of Cancer, like predictable. So they're not spontaneous like Aquarius and Aries and Sagittarius. So when you have Taurus, it's supposed to be that way. We're supposed to have some things in our life that are wonderfully predictable. Yeah. And actually, no matter how radical you think you are or what a wild child you are, there are some times where, you know, you do say to yourself, I want to be in that place with that person where I can say, oh, man, there's no place like home.
Absolutely.
You're the person I want to cuddle with. You're the person I want to snuggle with. So Taurus brings that into our world. I want to cook for you. I want to rub your back. I want to wash your hair for you. You know, I want to massage you. So Taurus is about the throat chakra. It's about tactile touch. It's also about taking care of your thyroid. So people that have like Taurus disruptions in their charts, or they're not, like you said, if they're not speaking what it is that they're holding back, they tend to have some thyroid area issues, and so they may need some iodized salt, or they may need to take some herbs like kelp and thing that starts to help balance the thyroid. So let's do the signs real quick before we go into the call.
Yeah, because we got like 8 minutes. I mean,
we can do it.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to start with Scorpio because the full moon's going to be in Scorpio. So what this Taurus new moon does for you is it's going to create for Scorpio ascendants, Scorpio moons, and Scorpio sun signs that this is your time of the year to look at how you've been treating others and the effect of others onto you. So the Scorpios out there that have been mainly surly and just being a thief of joy or taking, this is going to be where you find that you're isolated and people don't really have time for you, or people don't want to, they're going to ghost you because it's been too much that you, yeah, and I am a Scorpio. So for Scorpios now, it's time to rewrite your life script about what's equitable, what's fair, and not just me, but we. So Scorpios have some karma they're working through with that right now. Just because I'm a Scorpio doesn't mean I don't have to work on my sign.
You're not, but you're like the eagle, though. You're definitely not the Scorpion.
Exactly. Well, but I had to learn the hard way. You know, I remember I got into metaphysics when I was 14 this lifetime. Yeah. So now if you're a Taurus, this is like happy birthday to you, and it's your solar new year, and if you've got a Taurus rising, you're supposed to be proactive now about beginning things. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to know how it's going to end up or even when, but for you Tauruses, it's kind of difficult for Tauruses to move into a change. It's got to kind of be feeling safe and their idea. So I'm going to tell you, out of all 12 months of 2020, this is the zodiacal cycle that supports Taurus and Taurus rising signs for getting their toe wet and incorporating some new learning tools to do something new, fresh. Give it a fresh coat of paint. Give it a fresh chance. If you're a Gemini and a Sagittarius, those two signs right now are going to work on their mental health, their attitude, where their feelings might be eclipsing them instead of moving forward, especially Gemini. It's your time of the year to give yourself an audience for the deeper feelings and the deeper thoughts. If you're a Sagittarius, it's like time to take care of you, self-nurturing. When you're allowed to be out of the cage, you might want to get your teeth cleaned, you might want to condition, work with your new, what's that old song? I just stopped in to see what condition my condition was in. That fits Sagittarius right now. So you need to take care of you. If you're a Capricorn or a Cancer, relief is in sight when the first week of May gets here because the nodes get out of your sign.
Thank God.
So, So if you got Cancer rising, Cancer moon, Capricorn rising sign, or you are a sun sign of those signs, it starts to get really light now, and you're going to start to see your dreams have tangible results coming in. So Cancer, it's the 11th house, and I always call that, a lot of the old astrology teachers would call that the house of friends and goals. I see it as dream weaving. I see it as like you're doing your mandala and you're placing in the mandala sections and on your wheel of life what you'd like to see represented in your life, and you're willing to accept it and not doubt it and quit arguing with it. And you got to have the faith. Faith is your fuel right now if you got a Cancer rising, Cancer moon, or Cancer sun sign. And it's okay to realize that sometimes when you feel lonely, you tend to guilt yourself about that, or you tend to feel a little ashamed about that. But the loneliness and the stagnation for Cancers especially is over with. It's over with. It's just over. But it was like a real rite of passage that went on for the last 18 months. And if you're a Capricorn, it may be that your life lessons and your soul empowerments are coming through younger people, some type of creative crafting, your children, if you have children, because the 5th house has to do with what you're willing to create or be creative with. And our children are things that we brought into creation. So it's your time of the year to focus on their needs and how they may help uplift you. If you're an Aquarius or a Leo, for Aquarius, it's 4th house. So it's like, oh, God, our Aquarians chomping at the bit to get the hell out of the house. I mean, Aquarians are like, I mean, listen, Mars is in Aquarius. It's been 2 years since it's been there. Saturn's in Aquarius. And Aquarius is, the symbol of Aquarius is, in architecture, the symbol of electricity in the building or the house. So Aquarians are all electrified right now. They might be short with their words and impatient and short-tempered. So try to keep a lid on it, Aquarius. It gets much easier in the first week of May. But Aquarians right now, they've had a lesson in appreciating the family that they couldn't get to see. They're very independent people, but when you take it away from the Aquarian, they're just like, I'll show you what, I'm going to go back to my hometown and my home relatives. I'm going to see those people that I took for granted. That's what's going on with Aquarius. If you're a Leo, Leos have their mind on money, what's going out, what's coming in, and their focus right now, and that's okay, Leo, don't feel guilty about that, is what do I need to do to bring it in and what do I need to do to pay it off or liquidate it. If you're a Pisces or a Virgo, and then 2 more after this, Pisces, it's the 3rd house, Virgo, it's the 9th house. So for Pisces, great time to write, great time to design a website, great time to kind of close one chapter and open up a new one. And for Pisces, they're going to want to do neighborhood or community type of events. They're going to be on the front line of their hometown. For Virgos, they can't wait to travel. Virgos are just like, get me out. So the Virgos that live in the mountains, they want to go to the beach. The Virgos that have been in the mountains and they can't go hike and they can't go see the waterfalls. Here in Tennessee, everybody's going crazy because the Smokies have been closed down, and the motorcycle people that come from all over the United States to ride the tail of a dragon over in Tellico Plains, the Cherahoola Skyway. Oh, my God. Talk about social distancing. It's not going to happen when the bikers get out there. So, but it's also for Virgos, you're dreaming of all 12 months of 2020. For you Virgos, this new moon stimulates astral travel, soul, livelihood. I mean, your guides, your ancestors, the elder wisdoms coming around you. If you can do any kind of indigenous ceremony or maybe look up the culture that your DNA, RNA comes from and look at more the beliefs and the cultures of that rather than just the DNA kit. If you're an Aries or a Libra, or those are strong in your chart, Aries, it's 2nd house, so financial pressure comes off for Aries, but it's, again, and Taurus is the money sign. It has to do with what we're investing in. And so for Aries, you're looking at what's been taking too much of your time. So just like a quilter, though, Joe, I mean, for all you Aries out there, a quilter spends hours on a quilt, and if they price it too high, even though it's fantastic, you're never really going to get all the money for the time you spent in something. Astrologers spend hours to get a chart ready before the hour phone call with people, right? So it isn't always just about the amount of time you put into something. It's got to do with what you decide a fair worth is, and that's what Aries is going through right now. It's like, don't take advantage of me. And for Aries, it's also got to look at the mirror and don't take other things for granted either. So if you're an Aries, don't just look at it of what's coming into you. Also focus on that win-win deal because it's very important. If you're a Libra, it's kind of you got a Libra rising or a Libra moon or a Libra sun sign. Part of this lockdown, and this is funny, part of this lockdown has kind of gotten the Libra part of people edgy. Yes. They want some sensual fun. They want some.
Yes, please.
They want to. Yeah. Yes, more please. Yeah. So for the Libra parts of your chart, it is sexy. It's supposed to be sexy. And Libra and Taurus, and I'll finish with this, Libra and Taurus are both governed, if you will, by the celestial influences of Venus, Aphrodite, and even the fixed star that works with this particular new moon is Mira, and it's called Stella Mira, or look star, and it's in Andromeda's girdle. And so the Sabian symbol for the 4 degrees of this Taurus new moon, for especially hitting Libra, is the pot at the end of the rainbow, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Now, we tend to think about that only on St. Patrick's Day. But this new moon, Taurus, energy, currency, what we put value with, what holds worth, what we're going to invest in or what we're going to liquidate, this new moon at the 320 to 4 degrees of Taurus is saying to each of us, in our chart, where we have Taurus, there's a pot of gold and a rainbow bridge. So So the rainbow bridge, when it comes to the pot of gold, isn't like when we say my cat or my dog went to the rainbow bridge. No, no, no. The rainbow bridge is all the color healing that comes with our archangels and our guides. Each angel has a color associated with it. And Taurus color healing right now has a lot to do with the heart chakra, the greens and the dark pinks of that heart center. So open your heart up, keep your boundaries of how to protect you, and breathe in the value and the desire of love and sensuality, and exhale fear. That's this new moon.
Fantastic. All right. So when we come back, I hope all of you got that. If not, you'll have to go back and listen during the archive, which I'll be getting up hopefully by tomorrow. But other than that, we're about to start taking your calls. 1-800-588-0335. That's the number to call in. The lines are already full, but keep trying. You'll get through. We'll be right back.
And you're listening to The Fringe FM.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app. Free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Hey, this is No Way Jose, a Northern California Piscean stuck in the Arizona desert. I'm a void walker, and I got the shoes to prove it. So what do I do when my soul yearns to delve deep into the realm of the unknown? I aim my satellite straight into the night sky and catch a smooth ride on the KTLK-DB radio waves. I tune into Lighting the Void with Joe Root on the Fringe FM.
Joe, Lighting the Void is the best show on the planet. This is Barney, your friend from Facebook. Thank you and all the crew for all you do. Namaste, my friend.
This is Macon from the foothills of North Carolina, and I am a void walker.
G'day, void walkers. This is Lily from down under Australia. The world may be small, but the enigma is greater. So let your curiosity take you for a journey with Joe Root.
Hey, this is Fee, coming in from Central Maryland, and I am a void walker.
This is Kevin Doherty, a beginner void walker. I'm from Vancouver, BC. I know a little about a lot, and as Leonard Skinner said, I guess the rest. I learned a lot from Mr. Root in the show, and heard it from the beginning. I knew right then he was going to be a New York Bell. Thanks for all your shows, and keep it up.
Hey, this is Derek from Mass, a.k.a. the Night Stalker, and I'm a void walker.
This is Mark from Chicago, and I walk the void to ascertain what is consciousness.
My name is Jared Johnson, and I'm from Humboldt County, California. I do not know all the answers to the questions about reality. I do not claim to know the ultimate truth about life. I seek that which has been made hidden as a part of a family of explorers of consciousness. I'm a void walker. Thanks, Joe Root.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by St. Tabby's Aspirin for Cats. The first fish-flavored aspirin made especially for the aches and pains of frazzled feline.
I'm Clyde Lewis. You are listening to The Fringe FM.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
Have you ever seen an ad or banner which brought you a feeling that someone is reading your mind or even listening to your conversations? Your online data is being used against you. Surfshark is a VPN service that makes online privacy protection easy and attainable. You can use it on as many devices as you'd like simultaneously. Surfshark encrypts all internet traffic sent to and from your devices and ensures that your IP address remains hidden. The VPN service that we use at UFO Seekers plus 1 month free for $1.99 a month. Visit surfshark.deals/seekers.
We all have that story to tell in our lives. The winds were howling. The ground shook. You could hear rushing water. And then, history repeats itself. When there's no power, refrigeration fails. Stores with their shelves stripped bare. ATMs can't operate. Deliveries stop. Then what? These events can last days or weeks. You need a plan. In statements made during recent interviews, FEMA Administrator Brock Long has repeatedly urged all Americans to understand three truths. FEMA is broke. The system is broken. If this is the new normal, Americans can't rely on federal cavalry when disaster strikes. Don't get caught out in the elements empty-handed. Prepare with us by going to preparewiththefringe.com and get your 2-week food supply. 92 servings, 8 food varieties with 25-year shelf life. Normally $137, now only $75. Or get a month's supply, normally $247, now only $147, shipped in one business day. Just go to preparewiththefringe.com or call 888-440-7931. That's 888-440-7931. Get this great offer and be prepared while it lasts.
Hey, Fringe listeners, this is Dave Cruz, host of Beyond the Strange Radio, asking you to join us live Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Pacific Time, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Fringe FM. Visit beyondthestrange.com for links to chat, social media, and schedules of the show. And remember, always stay strange. Hasta.
Somewhere between abnormal and paranormal, there's a show called Into the Paranormal. I'm Jeremy Scott. Hear me live Saturdays at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern on the Fringe FM.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's all-new solar-powered, inflatable, low-maintenance, reversible, waterproof, drip-dry, self-winding Whatsis. The incredibly versatile all-in-one device that's just perfect for something or another. And as soon as we discover what, we'll be sure to let you know.
All right, it's that time. Get your free reading now by the one and only Mary Dusina, the original psychic, all the way back from the golden days of the 80s. Look, I can't believe I'm even saying that the 80s were the golden days, but yes, it's Cosmic Conditions time. Call in at 1-800-588-0335 and get your reading now. This is the actual music that you played on your show back then, isn't it?
Yes, that was my intro music right there.
How does it make you feel when you hear it?
Oh, I love it. I handpicked it, and the station gave me creative control to do it. They said, "You're the psychic, pick your music."
It is kind of calming, right?
It's on my website. Yeah, whenever we were going to do the actual readings, that's the song that plays.
Yeah. Inhale, in with the good, out with the bad.
That's
yeah, I
right.
like it. All right. Okay, let's start. Let's get this going. You ready, Mary?
I am.
All right, so who do we got first? Looks like we have 727 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Mary's friend Cherie.
Cherie.
The Queen of Water, Moonchild girl in Florida. Blessings to you, Cherie. Listen, I have to say this. I have to validate Cherie. My number one, her husband, my number one indigenous teacher of all the Native American stuff that I did in Florida was brought to me by her husband, Terry Frady, which is also his First Nations name, was Three Black Feathers. And he and Soaring Eagle, I knew them before he actually married Cherie. So Terry is certainly, with us tonight because this is his number one lady.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Well, do you have a specific
Cherie,
message
it's
from
good to
there?
hear from you, honey.
I like to meet your friends. This is cool.
Well, just some things she said already are like feeling stuck for so long and now coming out of it. But not really a question, just what she's going. That was what I was going to say is when is this stuckness going to come out? Terry, my husband, passed 3 years ago, and so I've kind of been stuck. during
Not
those
anymore.
3 years, and I'm ready to not be.
Not anymore, Cherie. And see, Joe, just so you know, and Cherie and I go way back. All my Florida years were with Terry and Cherie. And actually, I gave a nice little witch broom to Cherie that she loved. I gave it to her because she loved it so much. On the beach at our favorite place, the Dancers are. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see,
right
she's a
here in my
Cancer, Joe.
bedroom.
Yep, she's a Cancer, the crab. She's a moonchild. So what she's also reiterating is that 18 and a half, 19 months of intensity, even though it's been 3 years since our beloved three black feathers decided to keep a foot in spirit mainly, and then also a footprint on earth with those that love him dearly, is that now she got through tonight because certainly it's a message from him that I know him well enough that he would want her to have only happiness and joy. Let me pick a card for you, because I know we got callers on hold.
Okay.
This is tradition. This goes all the way back. Oh, my gosh. You got, and I'm using the Morgan Greer deck for those of you that like to study which decks that I use, because it changes each new moon show. You got number 14, Temperance. And Temperance is the angel that has 1 foot on the land and 1 foot resting either in some decks on top of the water or just dipping the top of the foot into the water, and has 2 chalices. In some decks it's 1 silver, 1 golden chalice, and the pyramid, the triune ray, is right there at the heart chakra going up to the throat chakra. So you are coming into a pleasure field of karmic reward. It's what you're doing, because temperance is a fancy word for harmony and balance. And so this is a 4. April is a 4. This card is a 14. So it may be 14 days from now. Look at the energies on May 14th, June 14th, as you're coming into the summertime of I know summer solstice is powerful for you this year. And I feel like that there's going to be a balance, not just in what you feel has been stagnant or missing, but literally you could just be schlepping out for the day to go run to Publix to do something or to buy some nice fresh produce, and your whole life will change with something and someone that you meet up with. So I really feel like that you've crossed all the way over to on the other side of the rainbow, and the pot of gold is saying, you know what, Cherie, you earned it. It's here. I really like the summer for you a lot. So stay in touch with me and let me know, because it's right there. It's right there. You got your hand on the door now.
Good. I'm ready. Well, thank you. Good to hear your voice.
Yeah, get back in touch with us. Let us know. And thank you for staying up. She's on Eastern time zone like I am, Joe. So thank you for staying up with us. I really appreciate my Eastern time zone people.
Absolutely. Thank you for calling, Cherie.
Love you, Cherie.
Very cool. You got friends all over, don't you? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
978 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
What's going on, Joe? What's going on, Mary? It's the Night Stalker.
No, good night. Are you working hard, brother? Are you still shelving?
I am not.
You know, we haven't played Night Stalker News in forever. You know, Mary, he hit me up, and I was like, I got Jess. She needs your help, man. Like, right when all this stuff hit, and he was like, look, dude, I'm stocking shelves, and these suckers are not, like going away. I'm working overtime here. I can't do the news. And I was like, yeah, I get that. So he's been a busy man. He's
like a first responder as far as the supply chain. Are you kidding me? So did I hear you say you've got the night off? Yeah, that's a happy man.
I had a little... yeah. I'm sitting in the car right now looking at the stars. It's pretty cold, but I had bad service inside. So, Mary, you are an absolute delight. Like, listening to you speak, I can't help but smile. So, I'm chilling right now.
What about me? Is it all just Mary? Like, I don't make you smile?
Of course you do.
Joe,
that's why he's loyal to you.
You're the number one. You're the king.
I'm not the king. Okay,
you're the
I'll
king
be
of the castle. You're the best.
All right.
That's right.
You know that.
Yeah, that's right. You're the one that brings on all the talent. So, hey, of course, homage to the King Aries.
Fair
homage
enough.
to the King
I'll
Aries.
take it.
If you've got a clear night, Night Stalker, if you've got a clear night, the Lyriad meteor showers and also the comet Atlas 19 is supposed to be coming. And the more we get closer to April, we've got 2 comets. We've got Comet Atlas 19 that you just need to have binoculars with, but is going to be visible to the naked eye, and the new comet that's coming in, Swan 20. so all through, I can't wait. It's raining here because I was going to be out there with the meteor showers right there doing the radio show, but we've got I've got the cloud cover. But if you're in a clear sky, it's about to be fantastic because it's going to be a busy meteor shower for you. Can I pick a card for you?
Yeah, definitely. Please, thank you.
Okay, I have the 10 of Cups for you, which is interesting. I started to say before we were doing the Oracle cards, just to teach a little bit on each show, the suit in the cards for the spring are the cups, which are the hearts. And so you have, in the Morgan Greer deck here on the 10 of Cups, we were talking about a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. I kid you not, I will send this picture of this card to Joe. It's a male arm and kind of like a prince and a princess. You just see their arms, though, and they're like entwined with one main golden cup, golden chalice that has a rainbow coming into the chalice. So instead of the wine or the water, the rainbow's literally coming into the cup part of it. It's actually the elixir, the tonic, and the chalice. And the other 9 cups are levitated. They're elevated up over a mountain. And so the 10 of Cups has to do with, it's the highest number of the suit cards. They go from ace to 10, and then you go into the court cards. So the 10 of Cups is a realized manifestation. So if that's coming up and it's the new moon, then I would say to you easily, you've really been focusing, no matter, like Joe said, how hard you've been working, you're really focusing on what's really stirring up gratitude for you. And I feel like you've been moved to tears more than once about just the intensity of what you've been through over the last 35 to 37 days. And you've had a whole reset. Like when new supplies come in, you got to reset the shelves. But I feel like that there's been a reset in your inventory as well, inside your inner sanctum and your inner shelf. So I feel like that there's been a shift by what you've done physically. I feel like it's also been almost like a living oracle card that you've literally restocked you and realized what's priority to. Like while everybody else was running out for toilet paper or disinfectant wipes, look at the symbology of that. Like wipe out. What do you need to do to keep yourself sanitary and clean? The whole theme has been like that. Disinfectant wipes and peroxide and alcohol and mask. It's so for you in the store, it's been like, wow, I've heard about preppers all my life. I've heard about people that lived through the Depression, people that went through hard times, in 2008 when the real estate market crashed and a lot of people lost their 401ks, just boom, lost in the stock market and everything. And now I am that first responder on the front line of watching people panic, watching people be aggressive, watching people be kind. We found out who the stingy people were, who the hoarders were, and who the kind people were. Just by products. Just by, the people that went to Costco and Sam's and bought like a whole cart full of toilet paper, and it's like, really, you pig? So there's been a lot of revelation and evidentiary, like we may all have been wearing masks sometimes, so other people wouldn't freak out or whatever at first to say, what is this like? This used to not be socially acceptable at all, and now people are trying to look at you if you don't. Yeah, I'm one of those rebels. I just stay away from you, but I'm not going to be wearing a mask all the time. This is a girl with faith here. So what's happening is everything's gone topsy-turvy.
To be honest with you, this has been the darkest night of the soul for me that I've had in a long time. I called you probably 6 months ago during a new moon show, and to say that I felt stuck, that I felt like I didn't know what my next move should. I feel like I am overflowing with ideas, that I have the juice right now and I can't squeeze it at all. That's how I've been feeling for a while. Juice. And this is just, but I can't, does that make sense? And this is amplified. Yes. So honestly, the virus itself has not, my life has not changed in that capacity at all. I have not gone shopping once during the day. I've not experienced any of what anyone else is experiencing.
Oh, God.
Mine is just the same problems I had a month ago are amplified by 100. And especially everyone's talking about how bored they are and how much they should be doing creative things. And that's all I've wanted to do for 3 years. And it's just absolute torture for me. And
we gave you an outlet really here, brother. Is that not enough for you? Do you need to do more or what?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, I wish I could be doing that. Like, I had to ask for
it's your
a break from that.
obligations.
That's what
I
I'm
got
saying.
you.
Like, it's just doing these things is what I like to do. So I like to do the Night Stalker news. I like to find these threads and make these connections and do this research. But it also energizes me and doesn't allow me to sleep. So I come home exhausted.
But look at the words you use. Look at the words you
yeah.
No, all right. As Mama used to say, it's time for a Mamaism. As Mama used to say when I would do that too, I should say, take the T off. I can't. What do you got? So you have, now let's just use one little example. You've been really busy. Now let's reframe exactly what you just said. Spirit chose to umbrella and protect you. You didn't have to go through the lack. You didn't have to go through the panic of going to the store. You were in the store. You didn't have to go through all these other things that people were freaking out with. My brother, that's called protection in a storm, okay? Because you were actually on the ship. You had a relationship within this storm. So you became the eye of the storm. You've worked harder than you've worked in a long time. You haven't had the time to do what you wanted to do creatively, but you said, I got the juice. This card is the golden chalice with the atmospheric Schumann resonance bioelectric waves of the heavens coming into your cup. I mean, the rainbow is called, in the Bible, it's the covenant of God to never destroy the earth with a flood. So there's a holy supernatural covenant coming into your chalice. That's the card you got tonight. And I'll send Joe the picture because he'll know how to get it to you. So the juice is, you've been juiced up, you've been amplified, and you now have made a commitment within the reset and the stalking of within yourself, Night Stalker, that you've decided with all of this, as I come out of the cage, as I come out of like just the cage of the overwhelming, like people who lost their jobs, all I've been doing is working, and it's all been amplified, these same problems that you said you've been dealing with for 3 years, just like Cherie called and said for 3 years. My husband died 3 years ago. This 18.5 month to 3 year type of thing, the 18 months, the last 18 months in that 3 years that you're talking about is where it really got intense. And so now you're coming into a vibration to where you can do all the creative things you want to, because what you did with this pressure, and you said, I'm in the darkest night of my soul, you know, I can feel it, I can see it, all the electrical juices around me, I don't know how to get my currency plugged into the outlet. That's what this card is saying. The congruency has now happened at this new moon. Like you said, you called 6 months ago, so that would have been like in the autumn. So now it's come together, and the manifest is you realize that what you've not been able to do, I've got all the stuff, I just can't do it. It's already started, like with doing the Night Stalker news. One little outlet already started in this last 6 months, and it's a seed. This is spring. The seeds are going into the fertile soil of manifestation, and when we go into the growing season of summer, they sprout. So watch what happens by June 5th. When you call back at that lunar eclipse in Sagittarius, when the nodes have already shifted to Gemini Sag, because on June 5th at that full moon, the sun's in Gemini, and the full moon will be eclipsed in Sagittarius. So let me give you one little holistic recipe. If you can, I don't care if it's morning or 4 o'clock in the morning, if you can on May 7th, Night Stalker, go out there and release the angst. You know, get into that full moon and say the light of the moon now breaks in harmonious ways. I'm broken free without any accidents or any problems or any, I'm now blessed in harmony to now allow all of my creativity to bless others as well as myself. I claim it, I summon it, and I receive it.
Well, I'm going to write that down when the podcast comes out, and I will 1,000% do that. Thank you very, very, very much. That was amazing.
A little magic in your life.
Have a good night, you guys.
Thanks for calling, brother.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Man, that is cool. Pretty cool, right?
That's a wonderful card. That's a wonderful card. He got the rainbow. I told you the symbol for this new moon is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. He's got the golden chalice, and the rainbow's coming into it.
Yeah. You're the man, Night Stalker.
And in most tarot decks, Joe, here's what's weird. In most tarot decks, it's like a male and a female dancing around, and there's a male and a female child, meaning their inner child is okay, family life is okay. This is the only deck I've ever owned, the Morgan Greer deck, that has the rainbow coming into a golden chalice. So how synchronistic is that for him tonight?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Look here.
I'll send you the picture.
We're taking calls, 1-800-588-0335, 479 Arkansas. Who are we speaking with?
Hey, this is Katrina.
Katrina, what's up?
Hi, it's my little pink and purple violet vixen fairy.
Honey. How are y'all doing?
Good, always good.
I'm
I feel
really
good
happy.
with this new moon. Thank you.
Yeah,
you always have a cheery,
like a lot of good
cheery.
things moving forward.
So do you just want a card? Is that what you want? You just want a general reading from Mary, or do you got a question? Okay.
I wanted to say hi to my friends. Yeah, hi Joe,
Howdy.
hi Mary.
Hey.
I love you guys. Will you pull a card for me?
Thank you. You know what's
Hello.
nice? You know what's nice? She wanted to send us some love before she asked for something for herself. Class.
I'll say something too about Katrina. She's always doing that stuff. Like if you follow her on social media and stuff, she's always trying to get together for and like do something fun with everybody all the time.
Well, she's got that fae energy. She's, fairies are, unless you get into trolls or, people that are the shadow types of trolls and gnomes and things like that, fairies they're like Tinkerbell. She's like Tinkerbell. She's like going around with a little star wand, and she's bonking people on the head. Now, that doesn't mean that Tinkerbell didn't get jealous sometime or get frustrated with Peter Pan, but she was the upliftment in his life.
Wait a minute. Who's Peter Pan? Who are we talking about here? What's going on? Did I miss something?
Well, she got a card. She got a card called the King of Swords. Little Miss pink and violet haired vixen. You got a man card, honey bunny. You got a man card. This is the King of Swords. Often speaks about the element of air. So there's some type of a signature of either Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius that could be strong in their chart, or the actual time frame, because tarot can give you astrological time frames too. So the King of Swords the season is summer, as I learned tarot. So the season is summer. So the summer eclipses and the nodal shifts are going to trigger this meetup. Normally the King of Swords has a great gift of gab, very good communicator, likes to talk things out, not going to like the silent treatment, doesn't want to give it to you, doesn't want to have it done back to them, wants to communicate, avid communicator. So this person normally will be a brunette. They'll tend to have more of a easily tanned complexion or a bronzy or brown complexion, brown eyes, darker eyes. Their ethnic group might be more Mediterranean or Greek or darker, and the King of Swords is looking right at you. So he holds the sword, which also has in this deck the golden, the tops of the beautiful golden wheat. So it comes to mind like he's able to separate the chaff from the wheat. So this is someone that has very good perception, enjoys extrasensory perception. So it could be someone that enjoys metaphysics, working on themselves, someone that's into psychology, someone that's into counseling. So it's someone that's not just an empath. It's someone that is strong because they've done a lot of work on themselves. So it's not going to be like a lot of times you see a real strong guy physically, but he's very weak psychologically or emotionally. Like he expects the partner to do everything for him, to clean up his messes, to give him a happy pill every day. So the King of Swords is just like, no, I'm my own man, and I want to enrich your life, and I know what I bring to the table, kind of a thing. So I think that's what you need. I feel like that it's got to be a male that's pretty confident with you.
Do you know who she's talking about, Katrina? You got your eye on somebody up there in northern Arkansas, or what's going on here?
I don't. But I'm going to be looking now.
I mean, it's like you just gave her like the ultimate dream life. I'm going to have a tall, dark, and handsome Mediterranean man that's going to be perfect.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Well, I feel the most important thing is this guy for her. For her, this guy is not going to be a game player. He'd be the type of person, kind of like an Aquarian or a Gemini would say, "Now, don't ask me the question if you don't want the truth, because if you ask me, I'm going to tell you what I think." Now, does that mean I'm right all the time? No. But if you ask me, do you like this top? Do you like this swimsuit? Do you like my hair this way? I'm going to tell you, do what you want to do, but I think, so he's going to reiterate that it's just his opinion. But he's also going to be the person that doesn't want to, take your power away. Like he's going to say, okay, this is just my opinion. You know what they say about opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So opinions are like, so I feel like that he's done, what I like about the energy of this male is that he's chosen to dive into his own darkness. He knows the dark night of his soul. He knows what depresses him. He knows where anger could get out of control for him. He's had to deal with it. So he's found optimal ways of coping with it instead of self-destructive ways. That's the main signature of this guy. To me, that's what I would find appealing, that he's not, he's not stuck in time somewhere. It's like he's not still being dragged around by whatever worked or didn't work in his life. He's really ready to go right now forward. So he's cleaned up a lot of stuff. And those might be interesting
adult
stories
emotions,
to hear, too.
that is outstanding.
So when's she supposed to call back and verify this? The summer?
Here's a good... Oh, yeah, you got to call. Yeah, you got to call. Start looking at some of Russell Brand's. He's a June 4th Gemini. And, Russell Brand talks very openly about his sex addiction and his drug addiction and his alcohol addiction and his need for speed and thrills. But he does a lot of podcasts now, and he really is a good Gemini, and he's a dark, complected guy. And he's happily married. He said, I was such a sex addict, and I finally found a partner that, I can, I've dealt with my insecurity. So kind of like that. So I think you'd get a good example of the personality I'm talking about if you would watch just a couple of those Russell Brand YouTubes. It's because he's Gemini, he's an air sign.
Gotcha.
So I think that might help you kind of get a bead on the type of personality it's going to be. But he won't have like a BS come on to you kind of line. When you first meet up with this person, it will be like he'll really engage you in a conversation of sincerity. It won't be like, oh, you look good. I mean, not that you don't look good, but it won't be just that. It won't just be, I'd like a piece of that pie. It won't just be that. It'll be like, oh, okay, now I'm turned on because you just engaged my mind. That's quite the aphrodisiac when someone can engage your mind, and be compatible with your mind self.
Yeah,
you need that.
Good, and let us know. Like really.
Oh, I want to know.
Yeah,
I'll admit I'll be the inquiring mind. I want to know about this guy.
Why are we like that as humans? We want all the saucy information, right? Like, give us the feedback. Tell us what happened. We want to know.
I'll tell you why I want to know, because I want her to have the delight.
Yeah. Well, I just want to know. I'm not going to lie. I just want to know. I want to know what happened.
That's honest. That's clean. And you know what? I want to say congratulations to you, because I feel like that you almost gave up on the concept of having that.
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I hope spring's eternal. It's fine. It's good.
I think a lot of people are going through that, though, right now, don't you? Like, a lot of people are going through that, giving up on a lot of things.
The forced isolation, listen, the forced isolation has, as I said in the first hour, it's force-fed us the bitter pill. It's shown us right up close and personal, because we've had to be quarantined. It's shown us not only where we're strong within ourselves and we become victorious and overcomers, but it's also shown us what our biggest fears are. And it's shown us what to appreciate. Like Night Stalker was saying, it's really revealed a lot to us about ourselves that we were so busy we didn't notice.
Well, thanks for calling, Katrina. We got to go into our break, but thank you for calling.
Yeah.
Good stuff there.
Let us know.
Thank you so much for taking your time. Yeah. Oh, I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Bye-bye now.
Thank you, Star Sister.
We'll be right back. 1-800-588-0335. Give us a call. Get your reading. Stay with us.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's House of Excuses. The next time you need a good excuse for being late to work or forgetting your spouse's birthday, just call the House of Excuses. We guarantee that we'll come up with a good excuse for you on the spot. Our guarantee is simple. If we don't come up with a good excuse for you, we promise to give you a good excuse for not coming up with one.
This is Rev Dan Lopez from Spiritual Warrior Today Radio, and you're listening to KTLK, The Fringe FM.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Hi, this is David Oman with HouseAtTheEndOfTheDrive.com. You're listening to KTLK, The Fringe FM.
Do you want to know the truth? Are UFOs real? Are aliens visiting Earth? Are governments around the world hiding the biggest secret in history? We're UFO Seekers, official partner of the Fringe FM, and we're on a hunt for the truth. Join us as we investigate locations like Area 51 by subscribing on YouTube at youtube.com/UFO Seekers.
Hi, this is Kronox from Belgium, and you're listening to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by Ed's Reconditioned Worthless Doohickey Store. Remember our motto, if you're looking for something you don't need, can't use, and don't want, you've come to the right place.
Hey, Fringe FM listeners. Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or no Wi-Fi available, you can still listen to every minute of the Fringe FM by calling 701-719-3971. No smartphone app or internet needed. Saves your data plan and no extra cost if you have unlimited minutes. Call 701-719-3971. That's 701-719-3971. Listen to the Fringe FM on any phone, anytime, anywhere.
We all have that story to tell in our lives. The winds were howling. The ground shook. You could hear rushing water. And then history repeats itself. When there's no power, refrigeration fails. Stores with their shelves strip bare. ATMs can't operate. Deliveries stop. Then what? These events can last days or weeks. You need a plan. In statements made during recent interviews, FEMA Administrator Brock Long has repeatedly urged all Americans to understand three truths. FEMA is broke. The system is broken. If this is the new normal, Americans can't rely on federal cavalry when disaster strikes. Don't get caught out in the elements empty-handed. Prepare with us by going to preparewiththefringe.com and get your 2-week food supply. 92 servings, 8 food varieties with 25-year shelf life. Normally $137, now only $75. Or get a month's supply, normally $247, now only $147, shipped in one business day. Just go to preparewiththefringe.com or call 888-440-7931. That's 888-440-7931. Get this great offer and be prepared while it lasts.
Alex Exum.
This is Alex Exum of the Exum Experience in Live Talk, where we discuss current events, society, and culture. My shows are based in actuality, actual existence, contrasted with what was intended, expected, or believed. You can listen to me live Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 7 p.m. only on KTLK, The Fringe FM.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by fungus. Yes, when searching for weird-looking fuzzy stuff to propagate itself all over their old meatloaf and cottage cheese, more people choose fungus than any other rhizome. Remember, it's pure, it's natural, it's 100% biodegradable. It's fungus.
To call Joe, pick up the phone, dial 1-800-588-0335, toll free from the United States or Canada.
Welcome back to Lighting the Void. It's Cosmic Conditions Night on this new moon with Mary Dusina. You can call in at 1-800-588-0335, and if it's ringing, I'm going to do just a quick experiment here, because I think when the lines are full, it just rings and rings, and I need to figure out something better for that. I don't know. Just a quick experiment, live on the air, because this is live radio. Looks like I'm just checking who is on 928 area code. Just curious. Hold on a second. I got you muted. Who is this again?
Syzygy,
Good. Okay, Susie, I'm going to have to, okay, you're not next, but I just wanted to make sure I was right about that. Okay, so anyways, all right, now, so if you call in and you happen to get a ring, that means, and it's just ringing and ringing and ringing, that means as soon, you might want to just hang in there, because as soon as the line opens up, you're going to file in. That's how that works. All right, so let's do this in the proper.
That's the way it was with Art Bell.
Yeah, let's do this in the proper order here. 707 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, this is Kate from Portland.
Kate from Portland. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good evening, Kate.
Do you got a question for Mary, or do you want her to pull a card for you?
I guess I kind of have a question. It's just like there have been a few big changes in my life that happened, like repercussions of like this pandemic and whatnot.
Okay, you got a little bit of a background noise. Can you say that you haven't done this before?
Oh, no, that's not what I said. Here, one sec. I'm working in my studio, and the fan system's kind of loud.
Yeah, there you go. That's much better. Go ahead with your question for Mary.
Cool. Yeah, so basically, I have to make a choice, a decision soon that's going to impact a few big things in my life, and I can't figure it out, so I just need some guidance with that.
We got a juggler.
It feels to me like I want to go back 7-8 weeks, and it feels to me like a high tide came. Like I feel like the tide came up real high, like when the waves. Of course, I knew a lot of surfers. When the wave would curl, would be ideal to a surfer. They want to ride the curl and go inside of it. So I feel with you that a high tide came, and I feel as spring began, because the card I got for you is the Ace of Hearts or the Ace of Cups. I feel like that there was a deep knowing within you that although certain things were kind of settled in your life and you'd kind of gotten your groove going, that all of a sudden this high tide came, and that you have to, it's as if I feel like that there's going to have to be a pushback in one sense, but yet the new way or the new beginning is going to be some type of breakthrough. And I see butterflies as your totem, and I see like your head back and you're like rising up into the sky and like in a leap of faith and dancing, and there's like water. I went to my other oracle deck for you, the nature deck, the Nature's Whispers, and she's like levitating above the wave. The wave has come back down. She's got like damselfly wings, like those four, dragonfly has 2, the damselfly has 4. And so I feel like that you're like her head is completely up, like she's trusting fate. She's trusting the fates. And the butterflies are all swirling up into these beautiful pastel colored clouds. And the card's called Breakthrough. And the number on the card is 8. So I would pay attention to the number 8 for the next couple of months. And certainly by August, you've shifted everything. I mean, like you've literally shifted everything. It just feels like that it's a breakthrough. Breakthroughs don't always mean that you have to break away from everything. You can stay exactly where you're living, for example, and have complete, massive, transformative breakthroughs. And it's like, wow, who would have thought I'm sitting in this same room, in my same studio, and so much has, like the whole room did a circular orbital shift. It's like, have you ever been on one of those like high bars that rotate, you get up and like as you're having your drinks, within 30 minutes, the whole bar rotates over the mountains or the beach. And it feels like that with you, that you're doing like a bird's eye view. You don't have all the specific answers yet, but I just want to say to you, follow your heart, because it knows. You've got to make these changes with your heart's leading and your heart's eyes. You've got to. So you can't get bogged down by what other people's opinions or reactions might be. It's not that you don't care, but it's just time that you have to make a decision that is well suited for you, and you're not wanting to hurt anybody else. But, sometimes if we let other people hold us back, the opportunity that Spirit says, you've earned this is your good karma. If we worry too much about that partner or that best friend, and will they be worried about our newfound success, or will they think that we won't have enough time for them, and it's wham, 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 the whambulance comes in. It's like, listen, take your whine and go work on yourself, because if I am prospered and this is good for me and we're good with each other, this is only going to bless the both of us. So it feels like there's like a prosperity cycle coming towards you, but somehow you're worried about how the fallout will be on other people. Does that make sense to you?
That's like right on point, actually. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I want to say it to you another way. So, don't be guilty. No. Don't feel guilty about what's time. It's like the timing is right for you now, and it's like the time has come. It's like if Cinderella, she left a little after midnight and she started running, and that's why she left the shoe behind, the glass slipper behind, because all these wonderful things happen. And yes, it was hard to leave the moment, but she knew that better would come, and she had to use her faith and run, because she was going to be back in rags, and the pumpkin coat, it was going to be a pumpkin again, and mice instead of the beautiful carriage, and the fairy godmother. Her godmother was like, listen, you got till midnight. So the clock struck midnight, and she started running because she had the faith in the very divine source supernatural effect that blessed her to go to the ball and meet Prince Charming. Even though she had to run back to her, quote, old life and take a second to think, wow, is this it? Did I get to touch the dream, but I don't get to have it? So she went back to sweeping the chimney and the mean stepsisters, but fate came again and found her in a natural way. And that's what's happened. It's like the glass slipper's going to fit your foot.
Man. Yeah. And you can't.
So how about that?
And I'll say, like the homie don't play that stuff. Like, you can't make everybody happy. Trust me, I tried it. It don't work. It just makes you miserable eventually.
No, I know. It doesn't
hear her
way,
voice drag right there.
Yeah,
see how your voice just dragged right there? It's not. Listen, we love who we love, but true sensuality isn't allowing anybody else, another partner, to be a drag line on you and keep pulling you underwater. True sensuality is you're happy to be happy with them, but you can't control their happiness. The only person's feelings you can control are your own.
Mm-hmm.
So we all have to take responsibility for that. I don't want you to feel guilty. You'll miss the opportunity if you keep feeling guilty, like, yeah, but if I do this, then they're going to worry that they don't have as much, or I'm going to go away, or I'll be gone a lot. Screw that. It doesn't mean you don't care. There's a difference. There's a difference between takers and users and energy vampires. They are thieves of joy.
This is true.
But you're not.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
When is Leo season? Is that August?
Oh, yeah. Leo season starts around the 22nd, 23rd of July and goes up until about the 20th, 21st, 22nd of August. Yeah. But the 8th month of the year is August.
Yeah, well, no. The last time I called, there was significance of Leo as well. So
it's still there. It's the 8th month, yeah. Because think of it this way. The first 3 weeks of August are Leo.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, you've still got Leo hanging out there.
Fair enough.
So
let us know. Let us know what happened.
Call us back again.
Yeah.
I will. Thank you very much, Joe and Mary. I hope both of you have a good night. Thanks for being here.
You too.
Thank you, darling. Thanks for staying up with us.
Right.
And keep taking that vitamin D up there. God, that place is dark. You have to take vitamin D up. I want you to talk about that too, sensuality. Every time I think, and people's like, oh, sensuality, they think it's like sex.
No,
there's a difference between that, the two,
Yeah, sensuality is like, it's a deeper quiver. I think sensuality touches the mind and the soul, not just the body. Sexuality can create orgasmic waves with the body. Like someone can just be good at sex and just be a tool. They can just be good at sex, but everything else falls short. And sometimes people make that too big of a priority in certain phases of their life. But what's going to last is sensuality. You know, it's going to be that maybe you've been touched by other people, but the touch you remember because it touched your soul and it was compatible with your mind and they made you laugh and they always cared about how was your day, not just, hey, my day was that. They cared about your day. They cared about your happiness. Sensuality is a deeper thrill, a deeper, like I call it
a deep soul
sliver.
connection, yeah.
Well, to me, yes. And to me, sensuality is what I call the medicine of the inner smile. It's an inner landscape garden. And so it's not always obvious on the external. You know, when you have true sensuality with somebody, it isn't just their physical appearance. It isn't just what money they make. It isn't just the job they do. It's just like, I don't know what it is with you, but you know, it's like that goofy Jerry Maguire movie, and I know it was a movie line, but you had me at hello. I mean, that can be very real in life.
Yeah.
Where you keep saying to yourself, I don't know why I want to talk to you all the time. I don't know why I want to be with you. I don't know why I miss you the way I do. Now, there's a difference between that and just a love addict or a sex addict. This is like, you touch me in deeper ways than anybody ever has. And I think that's probably, Joe, a past life connection too.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people. I bet you right now there's a lot of people. That girl that called, I was probably feeling that with somebody. I guarantee it. There's this time when I look at the transits and stuff, I see that. Deep. Like, this is like movie changing stuff. Communities are supposed to be coming together. People's lives are going to be like changing, like flipped upside down kind of changing for the good.
Yep.
And it's, I mean, for some people like me, because I've had such a dark and lonely past that I'm ready. And then others, you know, they've built comfort in their past, but they know they've got to move, you know, and it's scary.
Speaking about the transits, look what we've got. We've got Pluto in Earth. We've got Uranus in Earth. So we're wanting the real, I want to touch it, feel it, hold it. I want it to be tangible in my life. I don't want to play games anymore. I've been there, done that, had it done to me. I don't want that. I want real. Earth signs are about the real deal.
Amen.
It's the real deal. And we had the stellium in Capricorn, all right? And we're only going to have Saturn in Aquarius until July. It's just dipping its toe in Aquarius. And then it's going to go back into Capricorn. And, you know, 2021, we start getting all the Aquarius stuff. So, and the next place that Mars is going to transit is Pisces. So these are about supernatural, otherworldly love connections, not just, yeah, do me. Thanks. Yeah. Bye. No.
Done with the bullshit. That's what I call it. Bullshit. Ready for something
look at
real.
what sign we're in. Yeah. What is Taurus? What's the medicine animal of Taurus, Joe?
It's a bull.
The bull. Yeah.
Right. So we need to, okay, let's see. I lost my roster. Okay, here we go. I got it. You got it. 928 area code. I think Susie, you're up.
Hey, yeah. It's Dawn or Sue. Whatever.
How are you guys
doing?
Good. We got like 5 minutes till top of the hour. Do you got a card, or you want a card, or you got a question?
Actually, I have two questions, but
go.
Well, I'm gonna go with one. Will I get my property this year?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Or the beginning of it?
You got, and I quickly pulled a card while you were forming your question, and you got the Four of Wands. Normally, wands have to do with the seasonal focus of autumn, the fall, autumn of the year. You got the four, we're in April, it's the fourth month of the year, and you got the Four of Wands, which is the wands totally decorated at the top with flowers and fruits, and there's a festival, there's a celebration, like a wedding or a birth, or in your case, property acquisition. So I feel like that it's and it might literally be on a day that adds to a four. It's the Four of Wands. It could be like, so the fourth of the month, whatever autumn month it is, or, you know, an autumn-born person is a part of that happening for you. So like November 4th or November 13th, you know, autumn, or October 13th, because autumn starts with the sign of Libra. So look at where that four, or days that add to a four, like the 22nd, the 13th, the 4th, you know. So look at the days that add 31st, that would add up to a four That's, I think, going to be a big key for you. But according to this, if the seasonal timing is correct with the tarot, then it's going to be in autumn. But it feels like autumn this year.
Really? That would be so perfect. That would
okay.
Just,
so
that
on the
would be
Buddha moon, on the Buddha moon, because it's in Scorpio, which is an autumn sign. Last month's full moon was Libra, which would be the beginning of autumn. This next full moon, which is about releasing attachment. So if you've had a fear attachment, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to get the property. Release the fear. When I'm talking about releasing attachments, release the fear of it, and release your need to control it, and give that up to supernatural maintenance for them to be able to work on your behalf behind the scenes in holy ways and hallowed ways. And the full moon after that, on June 5th, is the final autumn sign of Sagittarius. So if you'll do a little ritual, ceremony, prayer, meditation, practicing the feeling, feeling it before you actually have the tangible news or results. If you'll feel, if this property is a place that you can go to in your mind or go to physically and just feel your feet on that land of that property and just thank it, just hug it, just, again, be sensual with the property. I love you. I've always loved you. I'll always have your good medicine for me. Like, really get into the feeling of just honoring that place, that vortex, because it's a portal. It's a portal that you're drawn to.
Oh, wow. That
so
makes
I want you to feel
sense, and it can feel it. I don't know where it is. I generally know where it is, but I don't know the actual property there. But I love it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, meditate on it and start to allow yourself, like, instead of just astral traveling, do like a nighttime full moon meditation where it's okay if you kind of doze off, or it's okay if you're sitting up in a chair outside or on a bench under the stars and you actually do an out-of-body meditational journey. You don't have to just be laying in a bed wanting to get outside your body. You can travel outside your body through your feelings and your mind first.
Fantastic.
And it'll come back and it'll talk to you. It'll come back and it'll start revealing itself to you.
Fantastic. Thank you for your call, Susie. I hope that helps you. And give us a call back, too, and tell us what happened, Let us know.
Oh, yeah.
We need all the confirmation that we can get. All right. So,
call us back in autumn.
Yeah, we gotta get this going here. Speaking of which, I want to say this while you were talking about that. We have a Patreon here at Lighting the Void, LTV. It's like patreon.com/LTV radio. If you happen to go on the website, you'll see the links, and there are packages in there. There's some larger packages in there. They're going to have a lot of things, including one of them that you will actually get a reading with Mary. It's a shorter reading, but you're gonna get it. It's like a little. Mary's just so nice. She's like, I'll throw in on that one, So it's a bunch of stuff.
You can only imagine how fast I talk. You can imagine how much I can throw in 30, 45 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be like Astrological. That's the big packages. But as far as the small packages, you're going to get like behind the scenes look, RSS feed. There's a chat room where I have to answer your questions, so I'm sure you guys are going to like that. And then there's, the Astral Travel Journal that we're going to do is video. There's going to be a lot more video involved. And some of the packages have like one-time gifts and stuff too in there. And it really helps support not the network, but me and this show. And so that would be great if any of you guys want to sign up to that. I do want to thank those that already have. And we got all this stuff coming to you. So thank you guys. We're going to take a break at the top of the hour.
I'll also do a shout out for some of your merchandise. I fell in love with the Lighting the Void tote bag. I got a tote bag. So wherever I go, I can carry my little Lighting the Void tote bag with me. So I carry my astrological charts and my oracle cards. And when I go do lectures, guess what? Lighting the Void's at the table. So it's a way that we can help promote you in the show, too.
So you get to go shopping with your tote bag. That's so cool.
Oh, God, yes. Lord God.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back. More callers, more readings. MaryDusina.com, MaryDusina. Get the real deal, Holyfield. Stay with us.
your face all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
This is Malorcas45, fan of the Fringe FM, challenging everyone to open their mind's eye. Listen to Lighting the Void with Joe Roop to gain precision for your third eye vision.
When you're in the house for longer periods of time, you can see them flying or running across the floor. Ooh, yuck. They're unhealthy, gross, and disgusting. Bugs. I loathe bugs. We keep a clean home, but occasionally bugs show up. Well, I found something that is tougher than bugs. Orange Guard. On contact, it kills hidden bugs, including ants, roaches, and fleas. Plus, Orange Guard is a residual repellent. All of the ingredients of Orange Guard are on the FDA generally recognized as safe list. Orange Guard may be used around food, humans, and pets. It comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Orange Guard. Available at orangeguard.com, Whole Foods, and Ace Hardware.
So are you tired of being tired? Well, then it's time to get the tea. Hey, it's Lisa here to tell you about this all-natural, all-organic tea I've been drinking that has had great results for over 20 years. It's called Life Change Tea, and it's specially formulated to help detoxify and cleanse your kidneys, liver, colon, and blood all at once. The colon is one of the most ignored organs in the human body. The faster that waste is eliminated from the body, the less time that waste sits in our intestines, spreading toxins to our bloodstream. This tea helps cleanse chemicals caused by outside intruders from our entire digestive system. And get this, weight loss can be a side effect. And with continued use of the tea, you can experience clearer, healthier, younger looking skin, increased energy, and a happier outlook on life. So if you're tired of being tired, get the Life Change Tea at getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. And like me, you'll be glad you did.
My name is Jake. I'm from Billings, Montana, and I am a void walker.
Hey, Joe Roop. Thanks for lighting the void. This is Janine in the bluegrass of Kentucky, and I am a void walker.
What's up, guys? This is Damien from San Marcos, Texas, and I'm a void walker. I listen to the show to keep myself aligned with the world.
Hi, this is Laura, a.k.a. Laura Lavender. I'm from Las Vegas, and I listen to Lighting the Void because it helps me understand some of the strangest experiences I've had. So thanks for all that you do and for always being there for us, Joe.
This is the Rogie Report news on the Fringe FM. I'm Jess Rogie. And just in case you haven't heard enough about SpaceX Starlink satellites, they are in the news again. SpaceX is asking the FCC for permission to operate all 4,400 of its first-generation satellites at a much lower altitude than originally planned. This is SpaceX's third attempt in the past 12 months to request lower altitudes for the satellites. A new species of snake has been discovered by a team of researchers from India. The team discovered a new species of green pit vipers and decided to name the snakes after a famous Harry Potter character. For those of you who are not familiar with Harry Potter, Salazar Slytherin was one of the founders of Hogwarts. The team suggested that the snake be commonly referred to as Salazar's pit viper. The pit vipers are venomous and found throughout East and Southeast Asia. And in strange COVID news, a California man is self-isolating from the living and is joined by the dead. Brett Underwood has been forced into quarantine in Cerro Gordo, California. Underwood purchased the abandoned silver mining town for $1.4 million in 2018. The caretaker was out of town for a week, so Underwood stayed on the property when a snowstorm came in and he found he was trapped. The town has been blanketed in over 4 feet of snow, meaning travel any further than a few hundred yards is impossible. And despite previously being a skeptic, Underwood said his experience during the time alone in the 22-building town has led him to believe in the rumors that it is haunted. Television series Ghost Adventures investigated the town and stated it was haunted by the ghosts of 2 children who died after being trapped inside of a closet. Underwood said, "Apart from ghosts and maybe a few bobcats, I'm alone. And they say that nature is returning to many parts of the world as people are staying home. Does that include cryptids? An Irish hospital clerk claims to have seen Scotland's Loch Ness Monster. The clerk was watching a live stream of the loch when he noticed a strange white shape come out of the water and float around for a few moments before disappearing. There were 18 confirmed sights of the cryptid last year, making it the busiest year for Nessie Mania since 1983. This is the Rogie Report News on the Fringe FM. I'm Jess Rogie.
This portion of the show is being brought to you by feet. You know, when looking for a natural means of short-range transportation, more people use feet than any other appendage. So the next time you're in the mood for some self-locomotion, try feet. Located in close proximity to an ankle near you.
You're listening to Lighting the Void. The call-in number is 1-800-588-0335.
That's right, and it's Cosmic Conditions with Mary Dusina. Tonight, the phone lines are wide open. If you're getting a lot of ringing, just hang in there. We only got 4 lines. Maybe we'll have to raise some more money so we can get some more lines, Mary. I don't know.
It'll happen.
I hate the fact that people can't get through. I like to see them there waiting so they know that they're next, you know. That's a good thing.
That's right. Yep.
Hey, real quick though, and I mean like 60 seconds. You pulled a card for me. I want to do this. Like, can I be selfish just once?
Yep.
During my show?
Yep.
Just once.
Yep.
It was the Magician. Yeah. That's such a good card.
The Magician in this deck, and again, this is called the Morgan Greer Tarot deck. It's very bright and colorful, and it stays in the tradition of the Rider-Waite teachings. When I teach tarot, that's where I start, is with the Rider-Waite. So the Magician has a red outer cape, which is very Aries. It's the Aries red. The undergarment is the balance of the purity of the illumination of the light. So although Aries is the ultimate yang vibration, and the Magician, the first and the major, people call them trumps. I call them triumphs, because when you study tarot, it used to be called triumphs, and the word just got shortened. So the Magician, I always say this about the Magician. If any deck I've ever owned, the Magician, to me, when someone gets that card, I always say to them, you have the power of the force fully supporting you for the next 24 hours. Be very aware of what you ask for. You'll get it.
Oh, goody.
So there's a big responsibility, and I tell people, don't be frivolous when the Magician comes up as your card, because he is the only card in the tarot deck of all 78 cards that has all 4 suits on his table. So he has mastered the swords. He's learning to master any negative or over-controlling aspects of the mind and thoughts, the mental body. That's the swords. His aspirations and his inspirations, he's balancing them out between being lazy, procrastinating, and applying himself. Yeah. There's the wands or the clubs. And then the cups are his feelings, and he's learning to be constructive with his feelings. And then he also has the swords of the mind, the wands of the aspirations and inspirations, and then the pentacles or the diamonds that have to do with due diligence, dedication, ascertaining and using discernment of which tools in this life serve him and support him well. Now, the card also represents that you're ready for an overarching life change, that you're walking through the archway of, like, I will make commitment, I am dedicated to where my heart and my soul leads me to go. And the Magician is like big changes. I mean, the Magician is like, it's the actual evidence of alchemy, that you literally have shed an old skin. Like the snake only sheds its skin when it's growing, when it's expanding. So the Magician card is also, I'm not afraid of where my vision quest is taking me. And I will tell you that it's also a bit of an intuitive alert that your guides are moving in closer with you, and that if you're doing any kind of divination work, if you're doing any kind of magical artistry, that you need to stay away from anything that is less than, and you need to work on your own intuitive strengthening and not other people's. So other people's opinions or other people's oracles or other people's messages right now, those come in cycles too. There's a cycle where that's very beneficial, and there's a cycle where you need to get your answers yourself.
So no more YouTube tarot? Is that what you're saying?
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, please. Oh, my God. All you got to do is go to 3 of them. They all say the different thing.
Yeah, they say kind of the same, but different. Yeah, I get it. Like, yeah, you go to YouTube tarot, you'll see like some kind of like an underarching story. So funny. But there's always one that's like, oh, you're going to get the best everything. And another one's like, oh, there's hell coming your way. And here's the tower.
Here's what's going on. They're in it. They're, number one, they're wanting to hook you so they get paid on YouTube. So they got to kind of lead you in somehow. Even the sincere ones, if you don't know that person, if you like every month you hear Joe and I, okay? If you don't know that person, then how do you know if they're not putting their own subjective life situations going on in the reading for the Aries or the Taurus or whatever? Let's say they just broke up with the Gemini. Now Gemini this month, things ain't gonna go good for you. I mean, it goes on all the time.
Yeah,
I look at it as like a comedy channel.
If you're scared, like if you're afraid of something and you do a tarot reading, it's going to show you what you're afraid of. If you're hopeful for something, it's going to it's like it'll mirror you too. And then I'm telling you, I literally almost went crazy from this, and I was like, the hell with it.
Okay, listen to me. The best way to learn tarot, and this is what I've told my students over decades, the best way to learn tarot is kind of go look at some tarot decks online. Trust what you're drawn to. Don't get 8 decks. Just get a deck. Just get one. Most of the learning decks are under $20 or certainly under $30. Get that one and just learn how to work with that deck and the book yourself until you're not letting your subjective self interfere with what the oracle wants to tell you. And just pick one card. Don't do 10 cards. Don't do the Celtic Cross. Don't just pick one card until you get into that groove of like you get up in the morning, whatever time of the day the start of your day is. If you work, if you sleep during the day, then your morning or your dawning is at night. Pick one card, read it in the book, look at it, stare at it, and don't pick another card for 24 hours and see how that card, if it did or not, gave you the message for that 24-hour period. Right. And let me tell you, when you learn the tarot that way, you got it.
I got to get this. I've been selfish too long, but basically you're saying I got a genie card. I can make a wish, right?
That's right.
Oh, I know what I want.
Careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for. You'll get it. Make sure you want it.
Thank God, please. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Got to go back with the roster. 620 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Mary. Hi, Joe. This is Ashley from Southeast Kansas. How are you guys tonight?
Ashley from Kansas.
How are you, sweet Kansas?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're fantastic. It's a lovely night. We're doing readings. Do you want a card or you got a question? Do you want to let the oracle decide?
Yeah, Mary's I've been calling in for the past few months, and Mary's really been spot on. So I just want her to pull a card. I've hit kind of like a rough spot. So
okay,
I just want you to pull a card for that.
You got the Wheel of Fortune, which is the 10 and the major triumphs. So the Wheel of Fortune is where a hand of fate is actually spinning, like the old big wooden water wheels that would be on a grist mill here in the mountains. And like the king is on the card, and these little visual things will help you. There's the yang part of you, or if there's not a significant masculine figure right now, it's like the king is saying, the hand's going to turn the wheel of fate, so he's kind of like begging for mercy. The female, who's holding her hand on one side, they're kind of like in an embrace, but she's like throwing caution to the wind. She's like, I'm ready to go. She's all dressed in violet. He's looking at, the supernatural fates, like, please, 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 let it be a good turn. Let it be a good spin of the wheel. Wheel of Fortune, let it be a good spin, and I win something, and I don't just get, a bankruptcy. She is totally trusting it. She's relaxed, her hands down by the side. He's pretty relaxed. He's got his legs crossed, but the wheel is turning, and you see the legs of the first person just got their butt just kicked off the wheel, so the karmic wheel wasn't so easy for them. So this tells me that something is probably dropped off or dropped by the wayside in your life, as indicated by the person that just got spun off the wheel, but the king and the queen are still up at the top, and they're toasting. So you still have a lot of chutzpah. You still have, it looks to me like you're balanced within the yin and the yang yourself. You're a good person. You're very conscientious of other people. So I don't see you afraid of how fate would spin the changes into your life, because I can hear David Bowie singing it now. It's the Changes song by David Bowie. It's like changes, you know. So what's coming up is you're maybe a little hesitant about how intense the changes might be and the timing of everything. Like maybe you're a little afraid of the timing, but I feel like the timing is right. This is the right spin of the wheel, and I feel like that you're going to solve the puzzle type of a thing. So I feel like that it's been a puzzle, and I want to go back about 3 weeks. I want to go back, so later on, write that down from April 22nd, what was 3 weeks ago. And I feel like that whatever was kind of like, I have no idea how I'm going to get through this. I have no idea how to figure this out. Oh, my Lord, what is this now? And I feel as you come to like the 3rd, real soon, like the 3rd, 4th of May, Spirit's showing me, it feels like that whatever was the quagmire, whatever was the knot, you know, I started out the show saying there's a knot that needs to be untied. I feel like that's when your knot gets untied. Now, let me give you that in a psychic way. Sometimes knot is spelled K-N-O-T. Sometimes, phonetically, it sounds the same when it's N-O-T. So something that's not been working out, or something that is N-O-T, been binding, you know, it's too binding, you know, it's like I'm not moving forward, or I feel like this is, I'm held in place, or I'm stagnant, or the hamster on the wheel type of a thing. Yeah. So it feels like that you've got to get yourself unstuck. And that may be just your thinking process. It may be that you just need to change how you're thinking about something, make a shift inside yourself.
Yeah, it's amazing that you say that, because with all the changes, I've kind of really gotten quiet, and that inner self-dialogue really has gotten negative. So it's really interesting that you say that.
Okay, so try to pinpoint when our inner dialogue gets negative, like maybe on the Buddha moon that I've been talking about to people, where we relinquish things that are trying to keep us attached to just one way of seeing it. On the Buddha moon, we can also let go of, if you get out there, don't blame yourself for thinking negative. Just ask yourself, what is the big thing I'm afraid of? What is the big thing I'm angry about? What is the big thing I'm resentful of or inhibited by? Ask yourself, get that answer, then ask for that to be released from you. Because we're not just meant to be thinking one-way type of creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That makes sense?
And I dissect everything. So, yeah, that does.
Okay. So that's your next homework. I'm not going to keep thinking negative. I'll keep thinking negatively until I figure out what got me tied in a knot. What am I not seeing? What am I not doing? And what am I allowing any external person or thing to keep me from not moving forward? I'm going to untie myself. So for you, it might be before the Buddha moon. For you, you might get your knot self, unchained and untethered on that 2nd, 3rd of May. It could happen really soon for you. Like, even though it's been pestering you, you could get yourself, just set yourself free. Paul Simon's singing to you, too. It's David Bowie, Changes, and it's Paul Simon. There must be 50 ways to leave your lover. Just get out the boy. Just get out the back, Jack. Set yourself free. That. She knows what I'm talking about. I can feel it.
I love it.
Go play those on YouTube. Go just play those 2 songs on YouTube. Yeah. Psychic music for you.
All right, thank you, Mary.
Keep calling back and keep us posted. Thank you for calling again.
I will.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
She's going straight to YouTube. She's going to play a song.
Yeah, that's hilarious. You're always the life of the party, Mary. You know that.
Thank you.
540 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
You're speaking with Michael. Hi, Mary.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael. You want a card, or do you have a specific question, Michael?
Well, it depends. Do you deal with any kind of extraterrestrial situation?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's 2 questions. One, they want me to learn something. Okay. They specifically said they want me to learn something.
I agree.
And the purpose behind it I've been told that I kind of question it. And also, what comes after that? Let's say I accomplish it, and then what would come after that?
The first word I heard was liberation and revelation of a part of your soul contract, or in a way almost like coming alive to why you re-entered this domain again, because you feel very multifaceted to me, like you've always been that kind of a thinker. You're able to see things not just from all four corners, but in an orbital pattern, like an omnidirectional microphone. You've got like omnidirectional perceptions. And I feel like that you are a starseed. I feel like that Earth has been odd. And, Earthlings are odd to you, because I feel like that you've always kind of been like an intuitive antenna. And it's like you get a different picture, or you get a different perception, like someone that you know a long time can be talking to you about a particular joy or a particular scenario in their life, or even a particular problem, or where they got a little twisted up. And it's like you're seeing a totally different movie when they're talking like, well, this is actually happening to you because you kind of co-created it, and it's actually going to seem like a dark night of the soul, or it's going to seem like you're supposed to do this marriage, but the overarching result will be, and it's not that you get all the data or all the facts, but it's like you can see the movie above the movie. It's like you're seeing, like if you were at the top of a mountain, even though what people are doing at the base of the mountain is important and viable to them, and just as important as you being at the top of the mountain, but you've got a bigger view. So I feel like that and instead of extraterrestrial, Michael, I want to use this term with you. They're telling me to use the term ultra-terrestrial. So it's not limited to just the Milky Way. It's not limited to just the earthly body. I feel like you're getting in touch with, it's kind of like the artwork. Have you ever looked at the artwork? I think his name is Alex Gray. And he started out, like he went to Harvard or something, and he started out even as a child like drawing the human body, and then he was in Harvard and like studying anatomy, and he was like got really good at drawing like the skeletons and the bones, and then he was so obsessed by that, then he started working in a morgue, and he spent like 18 years like actually getting a body ready for an autopsy and doing some of the autopsies, and then he took LSD one night, just at a party. He took LSD and met the love of his life. I'm not giving credit to LSD. I'm just telling you his story. He does a TED Talk about it. And it's either Alec Gray or Alex Gray. And he said, I was really depressed, and I went to this party, and he said, but I was thinking about ending my life. And he said, and I didn't really believe in God or anything, and I just decided, okay, if there's anything out there, prove it, kind of a thing like that. And he went to this friend, this neighbor, invited him to a party, and he said, this girl told me to drop acid. I'd never done it in my life, didn't know what it was. And he said, we've been together 36 years now, and they've opened up these temples of enlightenment and everything. But his artwork, in that TED Talk, he does an explanation about how he understood because of that acid trip, and then later on, he deliberately, with her, took ayahuasca, and it kicked him into, he said, I really got to see how we're all one with the big one, and then he started drawing it. And so I feel like it'll help you if you have a visual. You're a visual person. And so I feel like if you can, like, catch that TED Talk. He's a famous visionary artist, and I'm pretty sure his last name is Gray. But anyway, he talks about the luminous body, the physical body, and he does that little talk. And it's like, all TED Talks have to be before 15 minutes. So he does this whole thing, and when you start talking about the extraterrestrials, I'm like, oh, yeah, he would get this. He would really get this. So it feels to me that you've got around the triple eclipses this year, like June 5th, summer solstice, the big solar eclipse, and then the next eclipse on July 5th, I feel like that's a very important time for you to be spending more time out under the sky, and especially when the stars are out. Even though it's a full moon, it's okay. You can still see stars. And I'll tell you something. You reminded me of something that my guides wanted me to say about this Aquarius effect we've got going on between March and July. This is the most active time for UFOs, which to me is an unidentified flying object, but there's also aquatic anomalies. There's a different name for them. So it's like unidentified underwater objects. They come up. They've got bases and portals under the waters. And so there's been books written about that in the 70s and 80s. So, and when I went to Sedona and went on my UFO trek with Rob Meyer, I saw him actually rise up from one of the mountains out there in Chaco Canyon. So it's like, I'm like, okay, I don't care who believes me. I just did this telepathically and told him, if you're really out there, rise up from the mountain, and here they came, and I could like move it with my mind. So I'm like, I don't care for the rest of my life who believes it or not. Now I know. And that's what people want when it comes to anomalous or extraterrestrial, ultra-terrestrial contact. They want to know it for themselves. They're excited when they hear other people's stories, but they want to be able to see the ships, or they want to be able to have the telepathic communication, because it's a shift that happens inside yourself. It wasn't that I needed to meet the alien, okay? It unlocked me. Yeah. It unlocked me. So that's what's coming to you. That's what's coming to you. And if you get the chance and you've got the resources to go out off the grid, I'm not talking about going to Psychic Gatlinburg, Sedona for all the medicine wheels and all that. If you get a chance, like maybe with the UFOseekers.com, that's one of the sponsors of Joe's show, you need to pay more attention to people that are very serious about that are not doing it for just the money or the woo-woo effect. Like, really get with people that are serious about it, like Jim Mars was and the UFO Seekers are, because these are people that I found when I was attending the MUFON meetings, which whet my appetite with that, to wake it up. You'll find the sincere people that are beyond the groupies, that are just trying to make money off of it, okay? But it's real. No, it's real, and it's tangible, and it's about to manifest in no uncertain ways with you. So start giving thanks for it. Yeah, just give thanks for it. Just say, thank you for letting me have the awareness. Thank you that I'm ready, and thank you for it being concise and harmonious, and I'll take the empowerment. Well, that's what it is.
Okay.
It's gonna upgrade all your circuitry, Michael. All of your circuitry is gonna. You'll be changed forevermore. I dig it. I love it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much, and you're very good.
Thanks for calling, man. That's a good call. Fantastic. All right. Who was next here? Let's see. 970 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who are we speaking with?
Hello, Mary and Joe. I hope you are both well. This is Randy Lynn here, calling from rural western Colorado.
Wow. Thank you.
Colorado's Colorado's a Leo state. It was incorporated under the sign of Leo. Yep, Colorado's a Leo. I don't know every state by memorization, but I liked going to Colorado, and if I travel somewhere, I'm going to find out what its actual sign is. When was it actually incorporated? And then if I like it enough and I go to a certain city, like I liked Fort Collins, then I start finding out when that city was incorporated and how that fits in my natal chart. It's very interesting to do that, and then you start finding out if it's your Venus line or your Neptune line or your Jupiter line. It's fun to do. But it's a magical place. So wherever Leo is in your actual Earth birth chart, your natal chart, whatever house, whatever zone that Leo is, whether you have Leo planets or not, that zone is automatically lit up when you live in Colorado. Anybody, whatever sign there is. So Leo part of their chart has extra light on it because you're living in a vortex that was incorporated under Leo.
Interesting.
How about that?
Look into that. Yes. Mary, this is my first reading, actually, so I would be honored to just have you get the message I meant to receive, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, the one card I got is called Laughter, and I feel like that truly laughter and humor, not sarcasm, not people, laughing, getting a laugh at your expense, but true laughter, comedy, the entertainment of comedy, like whatever Saturday Night Live skit you like, or if you watch any of the comedy channels, it's like that's a way that I feel like you relax like other people would pray and meditate. There's something about when you can have that really rip-it-up, roaring laugh that I feel like that's just like the way that your whole body goes into an immediate restorative healing phase. Your other card that you got in the Morgan Greer deck is the Two of Pentacles. So I see you, there's a decision you're going to make. You're kind of like, it's like a juggler, and you're juggling the two coins or the two diamonds or the two pentacles, and you're pensive about it. You're like in some kind of contemplative or pensive moment about something that you're going to decide to do with, and it is Taurus, it is the new moon that has to do with currency and value and what holds worth and what we want to invest more into and what we want to liquidate. So I feel like that you're deciding the worth of something. Is it worth staying with this? Is it valuable for me to keep my focus on this, or do I need to invest my time, my skills? Do I need to invest in studying this more versus that? Or is it, if I feel like I've accomplished all I'm going to accomplish at this particular aspect of my work and my career, what could I add on? What could I upgrade? What do I want to spend? Watch these financial terms. What do I want to spend more toward? And what do I want to sell, liquidate, get myself free from, type of a thing? And I guess with you, I would say at what cost, at what price? Is it a credit or a debit? That's the terms you need to be thinking of as far as what's keeping your life lit and light and full of harmony. Because right now, the juggling that he's doing forms an infinity symbol, and the card itself is a number 2. So I would think about things that add to 2. Like this year is 2020. There's 2 2s. Today's 2-2. And I would start looking at, like, February was a 2 month, and our next month that will add to 2 will be the 11th of November. So something that you were kind of gnashing your teeth over and frustrated with in February of this year could actually be completely resolved for the better when you get to, by the time November gets here. And it'll be here before we know it. You know how fast time's flying. So
yes.
I think you've got some financial investments. Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Good girl. Good.
Areas, actually.
What's that?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
I said I have 2 different areas exactly that I'm having to decide on and go through, and it literally meets everything that you just told me. I have a lot to reflect on, and I appreciate that information.
Thank you. You would benefit
cool.
at some point, whether it's me or somebody else, by getting a more in-depth reading to where you can kind of look at it from your chart. I'm not saying it has to be me, but find the one that you have an affinity with, and it would really behoove you to take it deeper than just a phone call. Really, it would.
I appreciate that. Makes sense. Thank you so
Thank
much.
You, honey.
Thank you for calling. That was another one. Yeah. What's up with all this? We got to take our last break here. Well, you know what? Actually, I've already, I don't really have to because I've hit all the sponsorship stuff. What's all this stuff with this decisions, like crossroad stuff? There's this decision, even that Russell guy that called in last time. You remember him?
Yes.
Yeah, and he had a decision to make and made the one that his heart was telling him. And the dude called back, was so excited. I'd sent you that message. That energy seems to be happening to a lot of people in a lot of different ways. Isn't like this crossroads thing.
Well, see, we had the big impact in Capricorn in January. It's normally where people are kind of exhaling after Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa. People are like, okay, I got the family and the holiday, Thanksgiving and Christmas over with. Now the bills are going to come in. And so we kind of tend to gear down in January. Well, 2020 didn't let us do it. The most kick-butt month of the year was January. And it's like, good God. Then we get blasted, in February with coronavirus, it's like, and all this stuff starts coming up, and then the economy. So it's like we've been, again, I'll say it, force-fed financial decisions, psychological lessons, soul lessons, relationship shifts. It's just like, wow. And now we've got a shift going into Gemini. Venus is already there. Mercury's going to go into Gemini. And that's like 3 weeks of like, yeehaw, fun decisions to happen once Mercury shifts into Gemini around May 10th, 11th. That's some nice stuff there. That's some good horoscope news because it's going to bring better news for the next 3 weeks. So it's premium time for negotiations because Mercury loves being in Gemini. It loves it, and it's going to be getting along with Saturn in Aquarius, and the nodes have shifted. The north node's in Gemini, so Mercury's stimulating that. And so we've got that full moon that comes up in June, that's like the sun's in Gemini and the moon's in Sagittarius. So it's good for us to be really thinking about the shifts and decisions that we want to make, because by the time we get to the Gemini new moon over the 21st, 22nd of May, that's when these decisions, we're implementing them. And Night Stalker's going to be telling us how much he's now into his new groove, and we're going to find that, we got, again, the knot got untied. See, we've got to make a decision now. We're coming out of quarantine, and we got to make a decision with Taurus is telling us, Okay, what matters now? What really matters most? That's what's going on.
Heavy stuff.
So we have to make a decision. We have to. All the people that lost their job, they're either going to be called back to work, or they said, you know what? I lost my job with them, so I already lost it. That would have been my fear. I didn't want to lose my job, so now I'm going to decide where the hell I want to go.
Yeah, that's happening too. All right, 479. Yeah, 479 area code, another Arkansas number. Who are we speaking with?
Hi, Mary. Hi, Joe. This is Bailey.
Hey, Bailey.
Hi, Bailey.
Hey, guys. I just wanted to say that I appreciate y'all's work so much, and I got a reading from you not too long ago, Mary, and it was good medicine for me, but I have definitely found myself ready for that breath of fresh air that's coming up in May. It's been very crazy and hectic for me, and I would love to get a reading from you, some insight on the way the wheels are going to be turning.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for the validation. Okay, the card that I got out of and I like to always tell the oracles because that's frustrating to me when people don't, it's called Nature's Whispers by Angela Hartfield. So there's the heart chakra coming up, even though she spells it H-A-R-T on Hartfield, and her first name's Angela. That tells me right away that the angel of the heart is coming around you, Angela Hartfield. So the heart chakra and the word angel is if you just switch those letters around. So the card you got is number 50, which would be the month of May, 5. And it's a potential gateway. And it's a beautiful, beautiful world tree, kind of like an avatar. You know the northern lights, how pretty they are. They're like all those bright, pretty electromagnetic colors. That's what's underneath the tree as it's being elevated. It's the trees Taurus are trees. Capricorns and Tauruses love trees, and they love getting out with their hands in the dirt and the plants. That's good therapy for you right now. In the trunk of this tree, a portal has opened up, and there's a heart. The heart is actually the sky. The tree is up in the stars. So I feel like you've been uprooted over the last 4 weeks. You've been uprooted where everybody else has been sequestered. I feel like that even though you may be in a very familiar, your home with family and all that, I feel like you've been uprooted, though. It's like the inside of you feels like it's been like kind of swirling around in the galactic zone, like, where do I belong and what do I really want now? And, I know who I love, and I know where I live, and I know what my earth life basically is about, and I know what I do and what my skills are, but the inside of you like zoomed up and got uprooted and elevated. And I feel like that sound, color, music healing, when you go on some of the YouTube sites and you can type in Reiki music or binaural beats or holographic healing. I love Jonathan Goldman's Holy Harmony. That's one of the ones I like. And go on there and search for Constance Demby and find her Nouveau Magnificent. Oh, my God. Talk about elevating yourself. So even though things have gotten, like a lot of times when you dig the tree up by its roots, if you don't transplant it right away, it withers and it can die. So, but your tree has like a mountain on the bottom of it instead of like exposed roots, and then these northern lights are coming up under this tree like the supernatural is lifting you up, like there's new colors and new vibrancy and a renewed hope, even though maybe some things didn't go the way you had expected them to. And then I see you got the Fool and the King of Cups, and I'll say it quickly because those cards fell out. They're jumpers, so I have to tell you. So the King of Cups speaks about a very genteel, kind yang vibration. Usually it's a male when it's a king, but I try not to get all gender blah, blah, blah nowadays. But the King of Cups, it would be like the King of Hearts. So someone that would certainly be royal in their heart. And remember, the book was Angela Hartfield, A Field of Hearts and Angels. So the King of Cups would be a very inspirational male writer, speaker, teacher, soul coach. There's something about maybe through a friend that this male becomes, like I spoke earlier about my Native American friend, Three Black Feathers, Terry Frady. We're never romantic, but it was such a powerful, immortal game changer in my life. Even though he wasn't a romantic male in my life, I loved him. We called each other star brother and star sister. We knew that we'd been together before, and he had a complete positive effect on both of us did that for each other. We did television together and lectured together, and I got to meet the wife that called in tonight that I haven't talked to in a while. So the King of Hearts, the King of Cups, so he's the King of Spring. So maybe you could journal if you had to describe the perfect qualities of a congruent, vibrant partnership for you. What would that be? Like, what would be the best yang energy and the best yin energy? And right now in your life, do you want to be the yang element in a partnering, or do you feel like it's time that you want to play the yin? Yin is magnetic, yang is electrical. And then you've got the Fool card, which is like the beginning of the hero's journey. And there's a beautiful white dog that could represent the bounty that you have with any children. He's forward on a vision quest with a white rose, again, purity of intent. So I feel like that you're in that crossroads period of decisions that are coming, and the movers and the shakers are going to be with you. And you've got the 5-0 card in Nature's Whispers, and that tells me it's everything to do with the May 3 weeks of Taurus. So we're in April still. We're in April still until we get to April 30th. So I really feel like May is the electrical door opener of everything that you've had to kind of be sheltered in place to examine. And I feel like it's been very gripping for you emotionally. I feel like that you've really had to go into some places, even if you were surrounded by loved ones, where you felt alone, or you felt, like, what does it matter? Why does it matter? Do I matter? You don't have to agree or disagree with that. You can keep that personal. But it just feels to me that you've had to go to your own secret garden. But I do feel like your children, like my dog can tell, my cats can tell when I'm in a mood. Like they look at you. They have a way that they look at you like, I know the corners of your mouth are turned up, but I feel like you're hurting somehow. So no matter how much you play with the dog or the cat or the children, somehow they're like wanting to comfort you, and they can feel fractured or broken if they don't feel like they can give you a happy pill. So just be watchful of that. I'm not blaming you, but I want you to be cognizant of that. Because it feels to me you're the little ones, whether it's your puppy, your cat, or your kids, they're sensing that maybe I'm not enough for her. And you don't mean it that way at all. You don't mean to project that at all for any reason ever. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And, I had a lot. I have definitely felt uprooted here in the past several weeks, and I have decided to take a journey across the country May 4th. So good. I really feel like this portal opening up in May is exactly where I need to be going, exactly what I need to be doing, and so I can return to my children and be whole again.
Yep. Well, and the Fool card, that's the start of a journey too. So this whole thing, it looks like it's a trip across country, but it's really a vision quest of, like, when you're driving, there's going to be some neat things your guides will download into you. You're looking at the landscape. You're going to become like you're actually in the tarot deck yourself. Like the Fool card has the white dog and the rose and the walking stick. So however the vehicle is that's transporting you to a different longitude and latitude, you're literally like the walking tarot deck, the dancing walking tarot deck. You're actually going to be. It's going to take life with you. It's going to take life with you, and you're going to realize, like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, you had the answers all along. You just needed to have a shift of scenery so you could download it, incorporate it, and appreciate it, and hug it.
Absolutely.
You got it, girl.
Fantastic.
You got this.
Big reading there.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey. Thank you for your support.
And when you come back from your trip, you know what to do. Give us a call. Let us know what happened.
That's right. That's right. Inquiring minds want to know.
Yeah, we want to know. Like, the feedback that's everything I do when it comes to spirituality, and I don't think we put enough importance on this, is to give yourself feedback, journal it, verify this stuff, because a lot of this stuff isn't tangible. You have to verify it that way.
Joe, speaking of journaling, before we go to the next call, I want to just say one sentence about journaling. We're so into electronics right now. When I teach people, I'm like, okay, I don't want you to do this on a touch screen. I want you, when you're doing your oracle cards or your tarot or looking at your chart or with a dream, which most people know to do this with dream journals, I want you to actually sit down with a blank pad of paper and write. What that does, the magic of the alchemy of that is it puts in tandem the subconscious, the id, the superconscious, because your hand, the conscious mind is the hand writing. You're giving it a physical job to do. But because you've engaged the conscious monkey mind, if you will, in writing stuff down or doing psychic doodling or whatever, then the intuitive flow can happen because the conscious mind is busy, so it can't interfere and argue with it.
That's good.
Simple, free training, teaching technique that I promise you will work every time very quickly if you'll just do it, and people just don't do it. But, I mean, it's an ancient way of really fortifying your psychic ability and your guides being able to talk to you directly.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting and pretty inquisitive, too, because there's a lot of masters that would agree with you, and I'm not calling you a master or anything, but what I'm talking about, like Doskalos and a lot of the stuff I read, they talk about the same things.
Yep.
Looks like 406 area code. You're on the air with Mary Dusina. Who he's speaking with?
Hi, Joe and Mary. This is Catalina.
Hey, Catalina. You got a
blessing, Catalina.
Question, or do you want to?
It's my mermaid girl, right?
Yeah.
Aren't you the girl?
That's the mermaid.
Yes. Thank you for remembering. And I agree with you, Mary, about the hand journaling. I have been doing that my entire adult life, and it's a way that you connect with your higher self. Talks to you that way, and I've done it on computers and stuff. It's not the same thing. So I agree with you on that. So I have a question, same question for both of you. It's very unusual, but last year, you had suggested to have me to buy some oracle cards, which I did, the mermaid oracle cards. And when I got them, I had a really good time with them, and the instructions said that they're never wrong. And I used them for some of my friends, too, and they were amazed how accurate they were, and so I always had a good time. But so now the last few times that when I did take them out and use them, the weirdest things were happening. It's like I would be asking you questions, and they would actually, it seemed like the cards, and they're nice cards, they're oracle cards, not the tarot, and they were like mocking. They were like mocking me, and it was like, and I would be like picking sometimes the same card over and over again, and like it wouldn't answer me, or it seemed like it was giving me a hard time. It just didn't want to cooperate. It just seemed like it was mocking me, and I just thought, this is so weird. So my question is, have either of you experienced that, doing cards on yourself?
You want to answer her first, Joe?
No, you go ahead, actually.
Okay. Two things. When you find a deck that you're really enjoying and having a nice rhythmic flow with, and it starts to buck up on you, or it starts to there's two things. One, immediately either get your favorite crystal, or if it's a dry night and you're not having storms and rain and stuff, put the cards in like your wonderful little velvet bag or a box, and if you think there might be moisture to get to your box or your velvet bag or whatever, you can go ahead and put it in a baggie, or put it inside aluminum foil, because at least that's silver and it has a lot to do with intuition. But it feels like that they need to have like an outdoor nature cleansing blessing, because it feels like that the mocking or the bucking up on you feels like that an essence or a spirit signature from an irritant back in your childhood or back in your preteens kind of came to visit the cards. It's like maybe it was that annoying friend in junior high or high school, or someone that wanted to compete with you. And, it's like when you were getting attention, it kind of irritated them the wrong way, and you're just like, what's up with that? So it feels like that there's the obstruction is like a little energetic imp. That's the best way I could put it. And in the mermaid kingdom, there's the sirens, there's the mermaids, there's the mermen, and the sirens are like the pit bulls. They're like the German shepherds or the pit bulls. in the Mer Kingdom. And the sirens, you know, they're the ones that would like sit on the rock all topless and everything and comb their hair with that fish backbone, you know, and they'd like do that weird, hypnotic, hauntingly beautiful music. And the pirates and the sailors that are on the boat, you know, would be like, oh, I want to go over there and I'm going to have some of that, just like that. And she would act like she was attracted to them, and then she would lure them, and then they would dive in the water and she'd take them down and drown them. Because her job was to keep them from finding the location of the enchanted Mer Kingdom. So it may be that the sirens in the deck are trying to test you to see if you'll let them be the watchdog for you, to let them, you know, that they may be protecting you. Is there anyone around you that's been kind of competitive or edgy with you when this first started happening?
There's a little bit of that all the time for sure, but I think you're spot on about maybe they're just cooped up. Maybe I should take them with me on my little bike ride. Yeah. I'll put them in the basket.
Oh yeah. They need to have some nature energy, because think of all the stories like Ariel that Disney did and all that, The Littlest Mermaid. You know, there's always that story about kind of like the Romeo and Juliet, like the female with the fish tail falls in love with the human guy with the legs, like in Avatar. It was the crippled guy but when he went over to the Avatar kingdom with the blue girl that we all love, the blue warriors in Avatar, he wasn't crippled anymore. He wasn't paralyzed anymore. He could be a warrior with her. They were a match. But when he went back on the Earth vortex, he was crippled in a wheelchair. He was wheelchair bound. So they need movement with you. They need to, yeah.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. And I'd like to hear if Joe had that same type of experience with his.
Well, let me understand, like, your question again. Like, I'm kind of confused as to what's going on here, to be honest with you. So are you asking about an oracle? Is that what you're asking about, or when you should take stuff with you? Because I guess I lost that.
Okay, like, I know you prefer to do tarot, right?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so when you're using your tarot, have you ever had the experience where you're trying to get answers from it, and it's just like giving you a hard time? Like, it doesn't want it. Yeah. It's mocking you. It's giving you a hard time.
Yeah, because, and I'll tell you, okay, yeah, all the time, actually. And so I'll tell you what, that is because, and this is what I think, like in those times, those are the times where, like, divination is going to work for a lot of things. But when it comes to leveling up and stepping into who you really are, sometimes your guides are not going to give you the answers because they just want us. They already are giving you the answers. They just want to see if you'll make that step without anybody telling you to, because that's when you really grow. It doesn't happen a lot. I mean, these are usually like big moments, and sometimes it could be just you didn't prepare properly. Like if you ever get into I don't know if you've ever read any of the Golden Dawn stuff, but they've got like an entire book about the tarot, and this is like old stuff where they really get prepared before they do any type of reading. Get centered in your mind and all this stuff, because it will mirror you too. It will mirror your uncertainty or your not knowing. It'll do that. So
and resistance. Yeah, and the resistance.
So a lot of times you'll see a mirror and you'll be like, oh, it's just telling me what I feel. Well, yeah. And that's what it's saying. It's, how when it's kind of like The Secret, right? When people say, I want to attract money, and they want the money, and The Secret or whatever tells you, well, you need to act like you have money and just be that rich person. And still, like you don't have the money. You reach in your pocket and you're like, hey, where's the money, right? Like this is a trick, but it doesn't work that way. So it just mirrors the wanting or the question. And those are the times where you have to, the tarot is not going to tell you what to do. It's like your guides are there going, this is entirely up to you. I'm trying to tell you that God's inside you. That means you can do everything, and then other times, when you're in peril, it comes through. So yeah, I've had some frustrating moments with the tarot, just to be honest with you. Yeah.
Your voice changed when you said that. It was cute. Yeah, I've had some frustrating.
Like literally, like I'm not even looking at these cards anymore. I'm done with them, So
yeah, it's like they have the consciousness of their own. It's really trippy.
Absolutely, they do take on a spirit. Yep.
You know what? Tarot stuff. I found that really works for me with tarot is like I do this shuffle that I do one shuffle for each planet. Shoot, we got to wrap this up. And then 4 for each element, and then 2 because we're in the realm of duality. And then I'll ask the tarot, I'll be like, look, do you really know what I deeply desire? Like in my soul. And pull 1 card. And if it tells you deep down what you really desire, then clarify and keep asking. If not, and if you pull out a card where it's uncertainty or juggling or something like that, then it's up to you. I think sometimes, I guess what I'm saying, long story short, is sometimes no matter what divination tools we use, sometimes there's these moments in our lives where we have to make that decision because it's a cycle change. Could be a karmic situation. It could actually be a leveling up, and you're the one that's going to change your entire reality, no matter what the divination tells you. That's what I think.
You know what? I agree. That leveling up, that felt right then for her. That boom, when you felt, it's like my spirit went right there. There's an upgrade. There's a upcycle. There's a leveling up for her.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good to hear. Well, thank you both of you.
I really feel that.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for calling, and thank all of the callers that have called in tonight. What a night. That went by quick, didn't it? That always does.
Mm-hmm.
Can't believe it's over. So, what is the last thing that you want to tell us before you get out of here? We get out of here tonight. The wrap-up of Cosmic Conditions tonight.
The Taurus energy all the way until May 22nd, May 21st. Please pay attention to the May 7th full moon. And this Taurus energy is about us accepting our own worth, our own substance, and the wealth of our life. And listen, if this virus, this plague has taught us anything, who or what takes your breath away, and who do you enjoy breathing next to?
Amen to that. Yeah, amen to that. And we'll do it again next new moon. Every time the moon goes new, Mary will be here with us. And go to our website, marydusina.com. It's well worth the session. MaryDusina. I have to spell it because people think it's spelled different sometimes. We'll have all the links there, too. And thanks again, Mary, for doing this. Really, we really appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank all of you in the Fringe FM chat room. Next time we do this, if Mary pulls a card, you can actually see the physical card that she's pulling if you join the chat. And thanks to Pacho, everybody at the Fringe FM, Barbara, Amanda, Jeremy, Eric, all of you guys in the Fringe FM chat once more. Please don't copy the show without written permission. The music was by Chrono, Steezy Stevie. And who did the Oracle song? Who did that? I don't know.
It's Vangelis.
There we go.
Vangelis, and it's called the Oracle of Apollo.
Good night, y'all. See you tomorrow night.